practically every one of the top 40 records being played on every radio station in the United States is a communication to the children to take a trip, to cop out, to groove. The psychedelic jackets on the record albums have their own hidden.
This is a special question. We don't want you to smoke genetically modified ganja. We want you to smoke the real thing. We want you to smoke the natural herb. Some call it marijuana, some call it sensimedia, some call it lamb's bread, and some people call it ganja.
Welcome to another edition of the Adam Dunn Show. I'm your host, Adam Dunn. And
I am that other guy, Dave, sitting here, final tabling on the Wake and Bake tournament, baby.
Crushing it, I heard.
Crushing it. Well, I'm in
As
the
of
second
yesterday.
chip position.
All right, nice.
Yeah.
Like to hear that. Since all the
I
winnings,
just raised with Kings.
all the winnings are coming
I
back
won
to
the
the
vote.
show, right? Like you.
Of course, I
Okay,
reinvest in
absolutely.
the show, man. I know where my bread is buttered.
Good job. Oh my God, he has come in. He is coming through.
Come
He
on
hasn't,
in.
hasn't been arrested. He's been here how many hours? So long. I literally saw you rolling in. Drew is in the house. There he is. Green Star Grower in the house. Green Star Grower. Yeah.
Woo, 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 woo. Wait, Green Star Grower from Las Vegas, right?
No, not from
No,
Vegas. Look at
not
him. Oh, he
Vegas.
brought weed even good.
Wow.
Bring it home to daddy. Bring it home the weed.
The jar. These are Ryan's.
Look at you. So we have, so here's the deal. This week, I didn't even book a single guest. The whole place is full of people now. See how it goes?
That's how it goes.
Yeah.
What
Yeah,
happened
it
last
does.
week? We booked guests and no one showed up.
I brought a whole
Nobody showed
posse. I brought the entire Salt Gang. We are just here to take over.
Oh, I know. It's already. I can feel the whole table calcifying as we speak. Right, just as it's like starting to get more and more crusty. Zach's over there sneaking around. Zach's in the corner. And we have James Bean, man on the scene, is going to call in a little while. I told him just kind of hang in the wings there, and depending if these guys showed up, I had very little faith they were going to come here on time. So, you know, yeah.
That was close,
and you
though.
almost did it. You almost made my dreams come true.
Dude, so I went all the way up to Greeley today. So in 2014, my
Why?
neighbor, I lived up in
Get
Greeley.
right up on that mic, my friend.
When I first moved out to Colorado, I lived up in Greeley. And my neighbor stole my Glock from under my bed and got caught with it breaking into his meth dealer's house, and the police confiscated it.
Nice.
So it's been in the Greeley Police Department since 2014, and I walked up in there today with a mask and a Dro hoodie on and got a fucking Glock and 15 live rounds from the police department and walked right out.
No shit.
Come on. Did you get vote? Did you get a video of it?
I didn't. I didn't. I should have.
I'm curious.
Whit from Dro asked me the same thing.
Record everything.
I should.
How
I really
hard was it
should.
to get it back? Was it just like, oh, no problem?
Dude, I just signed a couple pieces of paper and they fucking gave it right to me.
That's nice.
What was the condition of the firearm? Did it have like a zip tie through the action or anything like that? Was it loaded?
It did, but the lady that works like behind the glass cut that shit off for me. Just gave it to me.
Holy shit.
I bought a Glock.
Good thing it didn't go off while she was taking it out. That'd be funny.
That's what I was thinking.
Wow, I didn't even know it was loaded.
Oh my god.
Oh my gosh.
Been loaded for 3 years.
Well, that's pretty. That's good. So now we're gonna do. Are you gonna fly back with your Glock now, or are you just?
Yeah, because you can just
I know you
check
can.
if it's in a locked box. You can check it. So
Yeah.
going back to Vegas with my fucking 40.
So you just rolling into town to collect your weapons? Is that your deal?
Pretty much. I've got a. I'm actually going to a meeting tomorrow that I can't really talk about yet, but
We got iPhone juice.
hopefully some
Whoa,
good
whoa.
things.
This is the perfect forum to talk about stuff you're not supposed to talk about.
This is where all the secrets are given.
Yeah.
I can talk about the cool stuff we're doing in Vegas. What's up?
Just look what happened to Philos Bioscience since when they came on the show.
This is when they
Great
came
things
on
happened.
here. They said a few things, and it was over. That was it.
Done.
Done deal. Done deal.
No one has ever talked to them again.
So
What's in the jar?
what's in the jar? What is this from Ryan?
And who said something about Vegas? What's going on in Vegas?
I'm out in Vegas now, working with Grossmith, and we're doing some pretty cool stuff out there.
Grossmith is a former guest on the show. In case you
Dude, I'm going to shock you right now, Adam. You ready to be
Shamal's
shocked?
fucking awesome.
shocked,
You ready to be shocked?
I'm ready. Tell me.
I'm going to Vegas
When?
in May.
Let's go.
I'm going.
Hit me up when you come. I got
booked it.
flour for you.
I booked it.
All the time. Anybody.
I'm there.
When
For a day.
August? Are we all going in August? Isn't that the plan?
No,
don't know anything.
July 10th is the Cannabis Business Awards if we wanted to go out for that.
They are doing it.
Yeah.
Look
Yeah.
at you.
They won't let Adam in, but they'll let the rest of us in.
Why are you not invited, bro? What's happening?
Well, you talking about the vaccinations now? Are you already
I'm
on the, on the vaccination tip? Are you already
did you
on
see
that?
Yeah, it's
course
just
you are.
fuck it. You're going. Yeah, we'll have a lot of fun.
Me
have a
and
lot
my,
of fun.
me and my
can't not have
counterfeit,
fun in
me and my
Vegas.
counterfeit vaccination papers. Sure, we'll be there.
No, we
I will
won't have
be
to
there.
worry about it. We're going to have to all wear masks because they're going to discover COVID-21 in a couple of weeks, and that'll be that.
There you go. So
That's that animal cookies.
what's your so this is the idea of this show is a pre-game show because next week it's on like Donkey Kong, but not really. It's kind of weird. It's one of those. What's going on in Vegas? Must be going nuts there a little bit.
Jardine does some pretty fucking dope stuff in Vegas. We're hoping to get a lot of weed sold with them.
So
They
is
do-
Grossmith up and they're operating now and delivering to the shops, everything, or is
Yeah.
it nice? Nice. How long's that been?
They've been in Vegas for like 2.5 years now.
Okay. Yeah, that's true. He
just-
was there. He was there when
Yeah.
when he was on the show.
I just got out there in November and took over the garden, and we are working on getting a new building and our own license very soon. So, we're also the reason I hit you up yesterday. We are trying to get like a collection of breeders to get involved with us. We have a couple of companies. Free World Genetics right now is working with us. Who else? Heaven Sent Farms, I think we're about to sign a contract with. Covert, we're about to sign a contract with. We've been talking with Swerve at Cali Connection a little bit. We haven't finished anything with him yet, but we're in talks with him. But any breeders that are trying to get into like licensed markets, we're in Oklahoma, we're in Vegas. We're giving pretty good deals to breeders.
Which part of Oklahoma are you guys based in now?
They're right in Oklahoma City.
Oklahoma City.
Yeah. They have
Who are you
just-
speaking to at Jardine?
We went and had meetings with the owner, Adam.
With
and,
Adam?
yeah,
I was going to say. I'll
Sounds like a
connect you
great
with him.
guy.
Yeah.
Sounds like a great guy.
Rick is their like head manager, I believe, who does most of their sales. He came over and saw the garden. Trey is pretty cool. He's one of the managers over at Jardine. Also, he came over and
No, the
checked
only
out
person I
garden.
know there is Adam Cohen. I would have gotten you in touch with him, but
Yeah,
you
yeah,
already
no,
met with him.
we
Sounds
went
like
and
your
had a
kind of
meeting
guy
with him.
there, Dave. Adam Cohen.
Yeah, oh yeah, we Jew broed out, man. That was it. That's all it took. Just two Jews. We all know each other already, so it's it's not to worry.
His office is fucking awesome. I would love to go to work and just sit in his office every day.
Fresh.
Yeah, they've got. Listen, they've locked in
Yeah.
Las Vegas.
Yeah, they got the
thing
Vegas.
I always
feel
thought
in
Vegas had because they were under a lot of pressure to deliver there because you're surrounded by the most professional
Right.
vice-minded sort of companies when it comes to alcohol or when it
Right.
comes to whatever. So you got to come in hard. You can't come in there with some paper bag
No.
of weed and
Yeah,
hope
no,
you're
there-
gonna make a
there's-
fucking make a splash there. But then also
There's
like I
a lot
think
of good weed
a lot
in
of
Vegas.
there's so many people from LA there, and they're always so snobby. on
Now,
their,
like all of Oakland is there.
and they're also snobby on their OGs and on their their particular strains that they know very well, and it's not like you can
Yeah.
go and just bring out some fucking garbage. So
Yeah, for
so it's definitely stepped their game up there. Whereas the other states, they don't have the same caliber of people already to deliver to, so they can get away with it just for that first year or two until
Yeah.
everyone gets, because you know how it is.
I mean,
Exposure to good weed.
I've been pretty much everywhere. Like
Yeah, but once you're exposed to it, you don't usually go backwards. You know what I mean?
Vegas and Colorado, I think have the best markets, honestly. In my
Well, you
opinion.
guys
I
been
haven't
around.
been
You've
to
moving
Oregon or
around.
anything.
You know the game. You know what's up.
I've been to
yeah,
too many places.
Been around. So
around.
now it's. I mean, you
landed
just
now.
left so now you left the East Coast. East Coast is blowing up like crazy.
Yeah.
What did you?
We're trying to go to New York. We're talking about doing a nursery type thing in New York.
Yeah, I mean, New York's interesting because of the fact that they're going to delay that. The dispensaries.
Virginia just went shit. I want to go back home.
Right. Finally.
I want to go. I want to be able to. When I moved to Colorado to learn how to grow weed, my end goal was to be able to have my own company and advertise at my high school football games. How sick would that be? Like sponsored by fucking Green Stars.
You remember me, motherfucker?
Well, that's and that's what I was saying. I think on the last show is just that it is a special feeling to be in your own hometown, especially when you knew, like, oh, see, we used to break into that building when we were a kid, and now it's a fucking grove. And then there's the place where we used to do, and all the history of the buildings and of the owners of the buildings, and it's also funny to see who comes out from behind the shadows, you know what I mean? Because it's like, I knew you were fucking doing that the whole time. You know what I mean? Like, and everybody's tried to be so straight, especially New England, because New England had that, like, you didn't...
Stigma.
It was so weird being up there, man.
You didn't, like, because you were just in Massachusetts, you understand. Like, it's like, everybody there
there's
smokes.
zero good weed in Massachusetts.
Oh.
There's fire. There is
Shots
fire
fired,
in
shots
Rhode
fired.
Island.
Shots
There is
fired.
fire in Maine, but there's zero good weed in Massachusetts.
Gee, I think Cam would be really pissed to hear that, right?
He just started. Well, I'm sorry. His legal weed just started. He just pulled down his first harvest.
That's true.
Right?
No, we saw it. We didn't see. Did we see the crop? No, we didn't.
So
we talked to them about the crop.
Now there might be good weed.
Which
But
one, in
To
Massachusetts?
be
From,
fair,
Chem Dog's
when
crop?
I was in Massachusetts, that's the worst weed I've ever grown in my entire life.
Why? Because of the conditions, or what was the deal?
There was a whole lot of bullshit going on over there, but
What do you think's the overall
Yes.
issue? Because I mean, it is interesting to see how, like, everybody complains about everywhere else. Like Colorado, we know our issues. Our issues are the dryness, right? So
bro, it rained 29 out of the 30 days in April last year in Massachusetts. Like, how do you dry weed in that condition?
that's it. So you have it's pretty much comes down to the drying conditions. I mean, it's like in the Caribbean when you're there and you're like, there's all this great
Man, I
weed, but
can't imagine
you
Jamaica,
can't
man.
you can't keep it from going brown unless you've put it in the fridge, and then it gets dry because it goes the other way. You know what I mean? And then kind of like it's brittle, and then all of a sudden you take it out and it sucks it back up again. So you have to. I think knowing your area and your conditions is pretty much the most important part. But what do you think? I mean, obviously you guys were running through when you were at Happy Valley. You guys were running through a lot of pretty fire genetics, right? So what was what happened to the strains that you were familiar with that you already knew, like growing them out here and stuff?
I didn't bring any strains there because they were so scared of PM, and I was like, every strain I have in Colorado has had PM on it, so I'm like, I can't bring anything.
Mm-hmm.
Colin brought a lot of fire genetics, but they were just not prepared for that build. I moved there on January 4th of 2019, and we were supposed to have plants in the garden on January 5th. And I went to the garden on January 9th for the first, construction meeting. And I did construction. That's what I almost majored in college before I got caught with weed and dropped out. Got kicked out and then dropped out. But I walked into the building, and I was like, they're halfway done with this right now. We are 6 months out from putting plants into this building.
Which again, too, how many grows have you been in your life where they're like, we're gonna finish it after this first cycle, and you're like, you never do. You never you can come back 2 years later and it's the same not finished shit because
Every distressed grow I've ever walked into is that's the story they tell.
it is. No, that is the classic. I mean, that's that. And the problem is that most grows are work in progress. You know what I mean? Very rarely do you build out, have it all finished, and be totally happy with what you got, and then just never go back and adjust.
Will someone roll this, please?
Hey, speaking of grows, I took Ed Rosenthal through 14 yesterday.
What happened here?
What happened?
What had happened was my hands.
See what happened was
I was
just
gonna
became
roll it,
claw
but then
hands.
we're in the middle of talking.
You can't talk and roll.
Can't talk and roll.
Can't do the chew gum
Watch
thing.
Willie do
Tuck
it.
and roll.
Willie will roll this motherfucker with the quickness.
I know.
Willie. Roll
Quick,
that
get to
blunt. You do it on. You do it over here on film. That's what you need to do. You need to let-
Yeah, so that building was so far behind on build in the first place, and then the design was just horrible, man.
Of what, every grow?
Of the Massachusetts project.
Welcome back, Willie. How you been?
What's up, Adam? How you been, dude?
We've been good.
Yeah, life's good.
Yeah. Glad to have all these special guests. Look at
Dude,
this.
first of all,
Get in there. I can't see you guys on camera.
It's like last
Get
week
shoulder
with
to shoulder.
Gabe having the extra special guests all of a sudden show up, you know?
I just off the phone with Ross. He told me to tell you hello.
Nice.
Yeah.
Great. So you're in charge of rolling, so we don't have to press you right out of the gate. We'll let you take care
I don't
of that.
remember what we were talking
Now you forgot what you were
Makes
talking
50
about. The whole
grand.
point of you stopping rolling was to continue the conversation. No, we were talking about build outs and how you never should try to think you're gonna build it while you grow it. Plus, I mean, the plants.
Impossible.
It's like you when you cut a piece of drywall and there's plants in the room and you see that dust cloud go across the room. It's like, where is it gonna go? It's gonna stick to every fucking sticky spot it can do, and it's stuff that you just you're never gonna get that out of there. It's stuck.
I think grows are just getting purpose built as of like the last 6 months, and like part of what you guys were just saying, they're getting purpose built, and a lot of them are getting built by people who are just over engineering the shit out of it, and then they don't know how to run it.
It's like way over or way under.
They just have no idea how to do
well, the
any
under
of
will
the stuff.
the under will always be the ventilation. Like they've never get that right. Like and if they do it over, it's almost worse because then you dry everything out and the fucking plant suffers. You know what I mean? So it is and the biggest problem, and this is what people don't get, is you never know until the water, all the reses are filled and all the plants are in the room, and then everything changes, right? Like the whole dynamics of the room change.
And 5 leaky tables.
And then and all the little
AC is
every
leaking on
little
your
like pinhole of going into your deal, and by the end of it all, you just leaking like a sieve, and you're running around trying to fill the gap, right? So, I think the problem now is that we have to have these official drawings drawn by people who've never done these things before.
For sure.
And the guys who actually have done it can't do the drawings because they're not certified. So they have to just sort of like tell the guy what they think, and then somehow it gets lost in translation.
It always does.
And I mean, how many grows do you go into, and it's like there's just another AC unit going on the roof because they just realize they're like way under what they need to be. And
They got started in winter, and then it's summer comes around. They're like, we need an extra $100,000 in AC.
What do you mean we
and
can't
then you need
run
to
water
upgrade
through the
and then you need
glycol
to
system?
well yes, the famous water in the glycol system. But no, in general, it's like the ability to run your system and then balance it out.
Cookies.
It's a usually about a year. It's like a 3 to 4 cycles before you've even got it to the point where you're like, okay, now we have a sort of.
I think it's the owner's issue too, right? There's not many growers that are owners, right? A lot of us have gotten funding from other people. I think that it's really confusing to them that, okay, we're starting to grow weed. And they're like, okay, well, where's the sales? It's like, we started today.
Yeah, right.
Oh, I know.
It's like, you didn't plan for this in December? They're like, no, we should be, like, harvesting today. It's like, no, dude, you have this all wrong. We have to do this, and like you just said, then we dial in the building. And it's it's the confusion between the cultivator, the director, and the owner who's paying for it, because the owner just thinks it's going to be this cash cow, and it has the opportunity to be a cash cow. But you got to work through all that bullshit. Right. I mean, even if you have $1 million air conditioning system, it still needs to be tweaked for that specific build.
Well, and the biggest problem is that, I was going to say, you guys ran into this problem, right? The higher up the scale of technological sort of advancements you go, you also need a person that goes with that, because the people who run those things, and they're not cheap either, and they got you by the balls.
Yeah, for sure.
And you're really based on their whole thing. And so some of those guys aren't really good growers, right? Some of them are really good tech guys, like they're really good at their tech because their whole brain is full of all of this coding and tech shit. But then when it comes to the love of the plant, like they'll walk out of the room and you come in and you go like, oh, but don't you see that those plants there are not fucking thriving at all, right? So it's like, oh, that's up to you now.
No, they're fine.
Have
I read
fun
a
with
book.
it, you know what I mean? And then you're just like, okay, now you're chasing your tail from day one,
Well, and then they try to do things like I read this book that told me that this is the way to do it. It's like, that's fantastic, but we've gotten 4 iterations past that in 1 year already, and we all admitted that we were wrong 6 months ago.
Well, in books, yeah, exactly. You have to print it, right? By the time you printed it, information is over because it
dog
goes,
ears.
Right. With cannabis, especially because it's like, no, I'm good.
No blunts.
No blunt. Yeah, what blunts? Come on,
You
now.
snob.
That's the H-Town in me.
But it's like the ultimate formula is always when there's a grower in the ownership part of the picture. Like there's when there's only a money person and then only a grower, doesn't usually work out so great. But when there's like a combo of the two in the top gears, all of a sudden everything runs 1,000 times better.
Way better,
And it has been proven over and over again because you see that happen. But then at a certain point, it eats itself. We've seen it with a lot of groups.
I think that's the only reason that like my original spot has stayed alive is because it's a tiny grow compared to all the others, and it's hard to create a business out of such a small spot with so many competitors with such large spots. But because we had a grower as the owner, I feel like we were able to make conscious decisions for the plants versus for the business, and the plants paid us back. And it was, the whole cannabis space is so hard to navigate.
Well, I mean, the cool part is that it's a simple formula. All you got to do is grow good weed. Like, that's it. The rest of it.
I think that's the hard part, though.
Yeah,
actually.
it's
it
not
seems
as
so
easy
easy
as
to
it's
us
easy,
because
but
we've done it for so long.
It's easy.
but-
It's easy to know like the goal, right? That's the goal. Grow good, but it gets misinterpreted by Mylar bags and fucking packaging and bullshit and people being able.
I'm so glad you're bringing that up.
and
That
mar-
is so fucking true.
And marketing in the right way, which is funny because now people are
just trying to scale quicker than they are ready to scale.
Yeah, and also they're. I mean, it's also part of the naming of strains. Like, I'm like everything's like a cake or a cookie or a cake or a fucking dessert or a fruit, and none of it delivers. You know what I mean? Like one out of 1,000 lemons deliver.
Lemons always deliver.
Lemons deliver, and they're the only ones out of all the things that you could kind of say, yeah, you're right. Occasionally, though, if people grow it, test it, and then do group thinks and actually come to like conclusions that, hey, this actually tastes exactly like a fucking cantaloupe or whatever, and it becomes like those things work. But the problem is people name shit before they've ever grown it, and they've come up with these crazy combinations that sound so good. Like, wow, that sounds like a great ice cream, but it's not.
What about
weed
like the fact that some of the best smoking weed looks like absolute shit, and because of all the heady boy shit. Mm-hmm. Oh,
Well,
bro, it's not dense enough. It's
Well,
like,
Instagram
this weed is so good, though.
Instagram weed is kind of killed. It's like SoundCloud rappers and Instagram weed. They're the same thing. They're in the same. They're in the same category. It's like
One of the greatest analogies I've ever heard in my life.
it's basically like you can fake it to everybody because they can't smell it. And they can't smoke it and they can smoke it eventually, but there can always be an excuse. Oh, that's not a good round, or that's you should have tried it last. There's always something. But like think about the disappointment in cookies the first time you ever I heard about it so much from Nick T and from this person and from that person, and I was just like, well, okay, this shit better be good because I've heard a lot. And then I get it, and I'm like, okay, that's it. And I was like, and then the hype was so big. And I just watched it kind of build up and go like, wow, people really fall for that shit. Like, I guess, okay.
Like 4 or 5 years ago, I went to this amazing spot in Cali that they were just killing it. And we're going through the grow. I'm like, gee whiz, these guys are killing this. This is amazing. And then we got to the point of getting to their cure. And then, back then they could just like hand you a handful of weed when you were leaving their grow. And so they did. And you go smoke it and you're like, there's
so harsh.
It's so harsh.
Yeah.
You couldn't smoke it. It didn't taste like anything, but like you're thinking back to the grill, you're like, it was so nice in there. Like everything they were doing seemed right, but this weed is just so wrong.
Yeah. Well, and the problem I saw from I was in Oklahoma looking at a guy's cloning operation, and he had, they had a couple greenhouses, and I was going through, and they were like, oh, this is all Cali, right? And then everything smelled the same. Like I went through everything. I was like, man, it smelled good. Like, okay, that's something you would, if you smelled it, you'd be like, all right, that's like in that sort of zone of GMO something.
Yep.
But it was not. There was no distinction between any of them. Like there was literally like 20 different things, and I could kind of get maybe this one maybe it was a little deeper smell than that one, but
I just hope Instagram bring back like fruity weed. If it's up to them to decide, Instagram bring fruity weed back. Like, bring like crazy flavors from like the mid 2000s that were like just like super citrusy. I feel like that all kind of disappeared for a while.
Yeah, well the thing is funny isn't it like every say it's kind of like I don't know, there's not really a number to it, but like every 5-6 years there's like, and it gets quicker now. It used to be like every 10 years there's a new flavor style that people liked. You know what I mean? Now it goes quicker and quicker because it's kind of it's because it's kind of moving around the country, right? It's like some areas have never even tried real fire weed because they've just had
Actually, we were just talking about that in the car and how like because we've been in Colorado and California and in a couple states, and we've known of strains for because we know the breeders, we've known of some strains that are just getting popular now that we've been running for like 4 years. It's like, man, I bet if we went back to Virginia, they like just heard of cookies.
Right. Well, yeah, it's like to go back to the music sort of connection where there's stuff that never got put out, but people have been playing it for 10 years on circuits because they're top DJs and they get the shit passed around.
Right.
And it has never been put out because if it gets put out, it's going to fucking ruin they're going to have to get something else because now they can't pull out their fucking dub plate or whatever that they've got.
Right.
And that's kind of where we are with our weed because a lot of the breeders, they've either retracted from the industry because they got screwed over enough times, which is usually the case.
Yeah.
Or they've
It's
just
tough to be a breeder.
or
man.
they've
It's
just
tough to-
gone gangbusters and let that shit go
in
out
regulation.
everywhere.
Yeah, and then they start putting seeds out that aren't doing so hot, actually.
Yeah, well, and that's the funny thing too is once like you start to see companies coming out with seeds and they don't understand that it's really hard to get a stable version of whatever you're famous for because unless you do the work and like okay, then do 6-7 generations of it and stabilize it and then put it out, but no one will ever do that work because that ain't gonna happen. So instead it's a whole bunch of either polyhybrids including their stuff or it's just simple F1s or it's S1s. And S1s are probably your best bet just because to give everybody the example of what
you're growing.
closest to what you're doing.
Yeah.
But you're also sort of shooting yourself in the foot too because now there's 20 different versions out there and that's what I hate. You know what I mean? Because you're
I
like,
absolutely hate that.
it's nice to keep it one if you can.
Doritos are Doritos, right? It's like when I go to a shop and they have something that I grow or that my friends grow that I want to smoke.
That shit tastes good, man.
Yeah, it's fucking
What is
awesome. That's the orange baklava.
What is it?
Orange baklava. And you go to that shop and you buy that dope and you're smoking it.
Dope. You just call it dope.
Friggin-
Call it
How
dope.
old are you?
Friggin' calling it dope, dude. No, but you smoke it.
Is that
and
the
you're
one
like,
that was
is
in this
not-
one, or which
yeah,
one
that's
is-
the one that's in this.
Can I roll a regular joint in
Yeah,
there?
you can roll a regular.
Thank
It just doesn't have the same flavor. You know what I'm saying? It's like the variation would be like if you jumped in a Civic and you have two Civics and you jumped in one and one just had a Ferrari interior and then the other one has like no interior at all. It just has like a lawn chair with bungee cords.
And it looks good from the outside.
It looks like the same thing, but it's just like
yeah.
the interior is so much different. It's like, geez.
That's a
all-
good. There
all
you
these
go. I like it.
facilities
See,
that we walk
this
into.
is the show you come for weed analogies. We just throw them out there every hour on the hour because
I'm down with that actually. That should
I
be an
just
app.
figure it's the easiest way to get people to understand what the fuck you're talking about because they don't get it
for sure.
from the weed side. You got to
You
kind of
haven't-
come at it
you
from
haven't
another
done
angle.
it. It's hard to see it.
Did you get this stink? That's delicious.
I had to stop and get deodorant because I was a stanky boy.
So
He was talking to Duke one time. He was like, it's like when you're holding a baby underwater in a swimming pool and you just keep feeding it and feeding it and feeding it.
Yeah, so we had this grow where they just couldn't understand how the plants weren't eating, right? So the analogy I used was like Ryan was saying. I was like, imagine you have a baby and you're just shoving it in the fucking water and you're screaming at this baby, you gotta eat this fucking food. And you're just shoving hamburgers down this baby's throat and the baby's just like, whoa, 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 like this, you know? That's what all these plants looked like. They're just shoving food down the plant's throat and the plant was like, literally, this is, stop, please,
Drowning.
please stop.
Just drowning.
These plants, you would walk through some of these gardens, they just scream at you, help me.
yeah,
Help me.
and it's funny too because a lot of times it's exactly what you were just saying. It's the opposite of what they're doing. Like they keep doing that. Like just keep feeding it, and then if you're just like, you know what, if you just walk away for like 2-3 days and then come back and I bet everything looks way better. Like, hey, look, they're all happy again. Like they just were not, overwatering is probably the number one soil sort of growing issue. Hydro, the problem is people come from hydro world. They're like, hey, just keep fucking, because that's the only way that, they know.
sure.
And it's the exact opposite when
It's the
you're,
exact opposite.
You're trying to no, you should actually make them work for it. Let them figure it out because they're a lot better than you.
You're not a good grower, so you're just impatient as fuck.
Yeah.
I'm gonna just go do the 100 things to this plant real quick.
Have you seen anything though? Because I think also what I've noticed is most of the grows are starting to look like almost the same, like cookie cutter grow rooms where you're like,
I think
okay,
that's awesome.
because they're being purpose built, right?
Yeah,
Before
people
it was
starting
like
to figure out what they're doing.
we kind of took this old warehouse and we converted it, and it's then everything is then it was kind of like you ever seen those Canadian grows in the giant
Oh yeah.
beer warehouses and shit. Those
Yeah.
things,
Oh,
you're
the
just like,
original ones.
yeah, they were just like, holy shit.
And I think that's where a lot of people also made mistakes, right? There's iterations of the way to build and the way to scale, and there's the rolling bench iteration, and I think that caps out at like a 60,000 square foot building with like 15 to 25,000 square feet of canopy. After you're at that, if you're not doing full automation, you're just completely inefficient in cultivating cannabis.
Right.
And with the volatile market, you can't be inefficient. And that's where it comes into the guys over engineering these places. It's like there's a happy medium, and like they grow orchids a certain way, grow fucking orchids, dude. Like,
Yeah. I think also, though, what's kind of separating the industry, what should separate the industry, I don't know if it is doing it yet, but it should, is if you're growing it with salty salt or you're growing it organically, there should be at the end game when you're cashing out, there should be value added to your inputs, right? So if you're putting everything organic and you're following all the right fucking protocols, at the end of the day, that weed should always be worth more money. Like, it's hands down.
It should be.
But it's not, because
No.
people don't look at it. They're just like,
What's the potency, dude?
how much THC's in there, bro? Like, yeah, but did you look at the weed? The weed was bone dry when they fucking gave it to the, there's a million ways you can make your shit.
We're gonna see
fire.
a lot of testing go down in Colorado because of the way they changed the rules on everybody.
I mean, we're not going to see honest testing until there's regulations, like federal regulations, and they can actually have standards and
that's the one
shit.
that
There's
Did
a
you guys,
couple-
did you
there
guys
is
watch
like-
that Netflix How to Fix a Drug Scandal thing about that Boston chick yet?
No.
No, it's kind of funny because it's all about normal. It's just like she's doing like DEA shit, but in the future, it's the
not
same
normal
exact
at all.
shit. That, well, she was, but the thing is, she got the fever because she was like busting people, so she got that fever, and she was started. So she started to like front load
She was
cases.
like setting people up.
Yeah, she was just pretty much like, yeah, there's narcotics in there. Like, even not even testing it, just fucking like
Is this
deciding.
about the bitch that was
Oh, was that the
doing
chick
all
that
the
was
drugs?
doing all
in
the drugs?
Boston,
I
yeah.
did watch.
Oh yeah, no, that was nuts.
They
And he was like the cocktail.
They found a crack pipe in her fucking office.
Yeah, that
No,
was
I know exactly. I figured you would have watched that.
Yeah, no,
I was
her-
like, come on, dude, it's a
her
grimy show.
cocktail.
It's a grimy show about Boston. You would,
Yeah.
of course, have been all over that.
Yeah, definitely.
That was a lethal cocktail.
Boston was wild.
Every
man.
day too, and just
I
like
love I
going to the
like-
bathroom and like needing drugs to go to the bathroom and then getting out and doing something different. It's like, are you joking, lady?
And doing that kind of work too. But I mean,
right?
it's.
Working
yeah.
I feel like that's just
government?
a sheltered person who like didn't get out enough and then just boom.
But I think that's also kind of what happens very much in the cannabis world, because most people that are into testing cannabis are into testing cannabis because they like cannabis. They're not into testing cannabis because they went to school to test stuff and they said, okay, I guess I'll test cannabis. It's more like, what you got? What you got?
I want you to test. I
And
want
so
you to
that-
test teenagers for booze,
And so
but I
that-
guess I'll do cannabis.
Well, it was
now.
like back when Spectrum, remember when Spectrum over here, there was like, those guys were so, like, I went to the first Cush Con and we were out smoking a joint and I was like thinking to myself, oh, this is cool. We're hanging out with the testing guys. And those testing guys, the guys who owned that thing, they were so in, you could tell that
they loved it.
You could tell that their whole thing was just a big bong session and fucking made sure that everybody
They're
was
like
just,
they're like growers of science.
Yeah,
you know?
no,
They're
no,
just like so super focused.
they were super cool, and I liked it all. But in the end, the whole thing collapsed because they were doing exactly what you'd expect, which was, like really caring about all the good weed. Nah, fucking that weed sucks. We don't even care. We're not even gonna like worry about. But we're gonna hyper focus on all this shit, and also trying to get cuts and trying to just everything about it was sloppy. You know what I mean? It was kind of like you'd rather have the guys be real professional and not be so interested in your product. But at the end of the day, which balance? You know what I mean? Like,
No, for sure. I wish we had, the regulation at this point, it's already here, so it needs to be standard, in my opinion, from state to state. People need to have the same shit.
well, we can't go until we're federally.
No, for sure, but it's just like the states should be already, like, because some of the limits in some states are ridiculous.
Yeah, that's
Like, you can't be over 1,000 CFUs. It's like, did the air touch this plant one time?
right. Yeah, no, people are getting busted. People are getting popping hot on tests on things they've never used in the building, but it's in the ventilation and it's coming down in the parts per billion.
Who says it's not the lab?
So, and cross contamination in the lab would be my number one concern.
If their job is to take in product, like, isn't it once they're a
And-
contaminant from someone's weed
Well,
and they open the
wouldn't you
bag,
wanna ask
isn't it
them-
just everywhere?
Well, also,
When you want to ask them how many samples from other dispensaries tested positive for that same contaminant?
Right.
That's a good point.
you know, and that would at least say, well, maybe the machine is not been cleaned. You know, might be a good idea to clean that shit.
I had
some crazy tests.
I had to. I got last night. I was like thinking about. I was like, oh yeah, I had that speeding ticket. I got to check that thing. I had a ticket in Florida when I was driving that McLaren thing, right? And I had to get up at 7 a.m. because I was a 9 o'clock thing, and I was like, it's pretty dope. Because got up. Sat in front of the judge, had my bong over here and all my shit. I'm just out of the camera reach. You know what I mean? I'm like, don't flip the camera. And be like, okay, hey, what's going on? But no, it's funny. I had this black guy, super cool. And he's like, so, Mr. Dunn, tell me what happened, you know? And I'm like, well, I was, you know, told him I was just driving this car back from a photo shoot. I was doing 88 and a 50, but the 50 was on the highway, which was actually normally a 65, but they had dropped it down. So it was one of those deals. And I was like, dude, it was a 1,000 horsepower car that I've never driven before, and I was doing 88 miles an hour. I go, I was not speeding in that car. I guarantee you, I was in that car. I was not speeding. I may have been speeding according to the road conditions, but the road conditions also changed. And the guy was really cool, and I got no points, no nothing. Just had to pay $300, which was like a quarter of what it should have been if you think about the speed and the time. I was like, "Now that was good." No lawyer. I was like, "Fuck the lawyer. I don't need no lawyer."
You're lucky you didn't go back in time, dude.
Oh, would have been bad.
At 88 miles an hour.
I know. I was doing perfect. I was right there. I was ready. I was just at the right moment. But he
hit the right button. You might have.
But it was funny. And then the cop. This is the funniest part. The cop who busted me, right? He was a dick, of course. And he was sitting in his car. And I was like, "This is pretty dope. You get to do your thing. Like I get to wake up, go to court, and go back to bed in like in 10 minutes or whatever." But then the funniest part was he had to like read, you know, what happened. The guy couldn't say the word purple. It was the weirdest thing. The guy goes, it was a McLaren, and it was. And he goes, I have a really hard time with that word. And I was like,
What?
I was like, wow. I was like,
come
wow.
on, he's a stutterer.
No,
he had trouble with it.
No, he was nothing was
Really?
stuttering. He just couldn't get over the word purple. It was weird because it wasn't the word, it was just the code for the word purple. And he's like, I have a really hard time with that code. And I was like, wow, genius level we have here.
What is this?
Yeah, great. And you're responsible for keeping us
But
safe.
anyway, I was very excited. I got out of it and I was super happy. I don't know why I went that way, but I had to tell that story. Had to come out. What is this?
Thanks, bro.
Soapy weed, soapy mids. The kid is back. This is the new.
Adam is smoking soapy mids.
No, I'm
No,
smoking
I
the
brought it.
good weed. This is his. This is
No, what? It doesn't that kind of have like a like soap smell? It's not a bad thing.
It's not. It's not as soapy as some. You know, what reminds me of soap is they usually like Soma's fucking Soma's the diesel. Soma's diesel, that purple one. That's got to me. That's like a soapy. This is not so heavy soap.
That's donkey butter.
Well, you
from
thought
Exotic-
that
Donkey butter, huh?
Exotic genetics.
the donkey
It smells
butter.
awesome. I guess my palate's just weak as fuck today.
Uh-oh.
You're
Wait,
good,
are you
man.
having trouble smelling and tasting?
Uh-oh, here he goes. He's coming down.
I already had it.
Uh-oh.
Been there,
Oh,
been there.
snap.
Yeah, you got the disease early on. You got all diseased up early.
Yeah, it was weird. Did you any of y'all have it?
No.
I
Yeah.
think I did in like the year before, because the Christmas before,
You know
like,
where everybody got
everything
it?
started.
You know where
I
a lot
was
of
in the
people got it? I
hospital.
think was at that.
MJ BizCon?
No, the one here. The fucking. Was it
Indo,
Indo. I think got a lot of people.
Yeah, no, I yeah, we couldn't.
It's like, which trade show did you get your COVID at?
Well, that was funny because somebody called me up and said, "Did you see that spike after NOCO?"
Was
You
there a
know,
spike?
like
Oh,
2
yeah.
weeks after NOCO, there was a spike in Colorado.
So we're blaming
I'm like,
NOCO?
really?
Wow.
All these fucking wooks out there.
Those damn looks.
Whatever, you got to get it or whatever. But no, when you can't taste or smell at the same time, smoking weed is a really weird experience.
It's like when you're sick. That is the most
imagine.
depressing part about being sick is that you just lose the flavor part, and then you're like, you can't get high. Really, it's hard to get high at that point.
You don't
Like,
even want to smoke.
It's so weird, and
Like weed would make me feel so much better, but I'm like, I'm good right now. Like the weed tastes horrible.
I know that is That is one of the problems of.
I was basically smoking bark, is what it tasted like.
Yeah, cardboard. It's like
Never smoked bark, but I've smelt it, so I know at least what that smells like.
I don't believe you.
Yeah, probably.
There was that rumor in college you smoked some bark, but I know it wasn't ever proven. We didn't have cameras back then.
No, that's the soapy weed. I'm down to smoke some of that.
You're about to.
Donkey butter.
You're rolling up the donkey butter?
Yes.
So we have.
So we had some
He's
kosher
trying
kitty.
to roll. We're gonna see how this goes again.
Yeah,
'cause
might not.
he's either gonna shut up and not say a word, and roll a great something, or he's gonna roll a really shitty something and keep jibber jabber.
Now I gotta roll blood.
Yeah. So you're coming back here maybe to do some work, it sounds like, or no? Just coming back to.
I don't think so.
Oh no, you're coming back to fucking recruit. It sounds like you're a recruiter now. You're a headhunter.
Something
Yeah.
like that.
Ah.
He actually wears a suit too. This is just his. This is Adam Dunn show attire. Out in the real
talent
world.
mining.
Yeah, he dressed down for the show. Thanks.
Just a full
Thanks, man.
a full tuxedo out there
true.
recruiting at Grows.
Yeah, I'm a Chad.
Those ones are funny too.
No, we're trying to do some work with some friends that are in Denver and trying to help bring a brand to a new market in a new state.
Yeah, I mean, it's quite funny how, we have these trends, right? So now this is the trend now, literally. Like, he's just embodied the canna trend of the moment, which is finally going back to some real growers who actually got sand kicked in their face, got pushed off the fucking playground, wasn't allowed to got locked out of their facility. I mean, how many stories of that? How many people we know who got, hey dude, I just came to work and like the door doesn't work. How come? And it's like, because you don't work here anymore, bitch. Get the fuck out. And you're like, what about my genetics? And they're like, they're mine. Like we've heard this, we've seen this go over and over again. So now it is kind of cool that people like our buddy there over at Grossmith, who actually has a heart, you know what I mean? Like knows, and he's been part of that whole. He's seen that, seen the ugly side of it all, and now we get into the right positions where we can actually help, pull each other up, which is dope.
The real team is
all about the
team is
culture.
there, right? It's not like out in the world. The people who need to be doing it together are already there and they're present.
And there's a lot of times like I mean, you saw it. We can put a lot of good talent together, but if it doesn't have the right management that are actually appreciating it, and that's why you got to have that combo where it's like one guy who's been in the trenches needs to be up there to. And the classic, and I would love to do this. Whenever I do a tour of a garden, I will make sure to make it a point to like somehow nudge the owner or the person who I know is in charge of the money to like see that, like, I'll be like, hey, what's going on with this over here? You know what I mean? Knowing that it's like a weak spot in the room, and the guy will be like, dude, thanks for that. They were never going to give us the money to get that because all I needed was fans in that corner to keep the PM from fucking developing, and they wouldn't do it. They wouldn't spend like $400 because they've already spent $1 million. Like, and that's and it's
that
always,
one.
Yeah, the old I spent $1 million, you should have enough. And it's
That's like the main, I think, issue is that there's huge decisions that growers have to make, and if you're not making the right decision, I think when I said this earlier, you can just completely lose it. These places make so much money, and they'll make all the wrong decisions, and then these places that aren't funded, don't have people, and just have a couple, chicks and dudes who know what they're doing, tend to be the ones that crush.
Right. Well, like the the ones I always loved were, you come into the room, and there's like a table turned sideways at the end of the row, and you're like, well, what's going on over here? And they're like, oh, well, we were sitting around, and we realized we could fit 40 more slabs in this room or something like that. You're like, yeah, but you just killed the whole airflow of the thing. You know what I mean? And everything's not getting. Now all those back there are just
Or they
suffocating.
just build weird rooms to begin with. They're building out a grow, and they have a room that's in the shape of an L.
Yeah, L-shaped rooms, lovely. And that was like in Holland. That was the number one way because most of the apartments there were that shape. So you would end up going in and like just knocking out, like covering up doors and just taking over areas. But it was always that weird corner bit that would. That's where all the PM starts anyway. It's like
sitting. Whatever you do, it just starts there.
Yeah, and I think it's like the one formula that you can almost guarantee is going to make it work is if it's not too big and it has people in it that have grown before that are dealing with the money. And then everything goes fine. But once it gets too big, it's over. Like you see a 2,000 light room, it's not going to be like there's no love left. You know what I mean?
There's
nobody
not.
has time to even look like.
But I think you can grow really good product still at scale.
Yeah,
I think it just has, again, you have to pull a team together of the right people. And I think that's, you see these big Canadian spots that have gone up, like there's news articles, they're going up for sale, right? But they were supposed to be the next big thing in these multi-billion-dollar corporations. How the fuck did that not work?
Yeah.
Right?
Management.
Oh, you're talking about like Aurora or whatever now, or something like.
No, just any of those big ones that just haven't worked. It's like, how does that stuff not work, right? With all that money, and it just comes down to the team. And I think that's finally starting to get really respected.
I think that's called the Dan Bilzerian Effect.
But I think there's more respect coming for, like, it kind of like was lost because of that corporate, and it's coming back.
But it is like, yeah, when you hear $30 million or something stupid like that, you're like, wait a minute, and not a gram got produced, like stupid things like that. You're like, they didn't even make a gram. You're like, whoa, like mind blown. Like,
here's this facility and it has no plants in it.
Yeah,
It's
or
like,
they
wait,
just
what?
don't get the light. Yeah, exactly. 2 years we paid rent and we built it out and we sat there waiting to get our chicken, final
Or
approval.
they just never put plants in it. It's
Yeah.
just a facade. We just have these photos of this building that we built.
Yeah, there's that too. I mean, there's plenty of scam artists in the industry, and I mean, I can just imagine how many people got taken that that we never even comprehend because those people were never ever even allowed to get into the real market. They just got bamboozled by somebody else who came in and was like, showed photos of your grow, or you know what I mean, like, and they took them all off the internet because it's that easy now. Whereas you didn't have access to even get those photos back in the day because it would be like, well, how'd you get a photo unless you're in the room? Because and nowadays it's just like you could pretty much just punch into go into your phone. I could build a beautiful looking portfolio of total bullshit. You know what I mean? And
Do people try to pretend
It's the
to be you on Instagram?
I haven't had it yet, which I'm very happy to hear.
Oh, it's about to happen right now
Yeah, here
because
it
you
goes.
said that.
Yeah, here it goes. Thanks
man.
for
That
that,
shit
Drew.
is
Drew just set me up. You fucking
It's
set
the
me up.
Remember, Adam? When we
I
were-
haven't got my reaction video. I haven't got my reaction video that I was desperate for now, but didn't happen.
You remember when we were chasing all those CBD orders back in like 2017, 2016? Everybody wanted it.
Everybody was a
$1,000
billionaire.
And we discovered that all you needed to do was Google COA CBD, and you can pull up a COA that said you had anything. So it never meant anything after that. It's all
Miles is
bullshit.
being represented. He's all happy now. He's somewhere watching.
What happened?
He's watching. He sees. He's like, weed should taste good. Yes.
I can only see half of his shirt.
It really should though.
Miles is an amazing person. I haven't met him in person yet, but he's just an amazing human.
He is set it up shop over at the Chronopalooza. So he's there in Oklahoma right now.
Oh yeah, I saw some posts from the botanical garden. He found some russet mites.
Oh, in the botanical gardens here?
Yeah.
In Denver?
No, in Oklahoma.
Oh, in
Oklahoma,
Oklahoma.
Oklahoma.
Oh, okay. Then it's Oklahoma. Oklahoma botanical gardens. Really, russets in the botanical gardens? Ouch. In what? On do they have?
It looked like I don't even want to say I'm gonna offend somebody, but it looked like a fern type leaf that I saw.
But it's supposed to be cannabis? No.
No.
Okay. Because they do have hemp. Do they have hemp in the botanical gardens here? Don't they, or no?
Really?
I think so.
I've
Not
never been.
really.
Do they have it, Dave, or not?
No.
No, they have them in Amsterdam.
think
know
so.
They have it in Amsterdam because they have a whole medicinal
Look,
plant
I rolled a blunt.
area. Look at that. Oh, see
Like
that?
tobacco blunt?
You
Like
didn't
with
say a word, but you
tobacco
didn't say a
leaf?
word for the last 15 minutes. So we have proven our point. Cannot chew gum and walk at the same time.
You pulled a Sasquatch
I'll
on
grab
us.
my jar.
Grab your jar.
Will do.
Let's sniff.
Ryan's weed is fire, man.
No.
This is his weed too, right? Isn't it? Or not?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Both those jars.
Oh, okay. He's
That's
grabbing
Will's.
another jar. Yeah, we have this one airing out.
Are you going back to New York?
Going back to live in New York? or
No,
something?
like, are you gonna do anything in New York? Now that it's legal there?
I'm gonna be
Isn't
in New
that-
York.
isn't
I'm gonna
that
be in
your-
New York at the end of this month on May 1st. I'll be back there. For
I've never been to New York.
What?
Yeah.
It's Country
What?
Mouse. You're showing your Country Mouse.
I've
fucking-
never been to New York City. My grandparents lived in Niagara Falls. Been
What are we
there
looking
a
at
bunch
here?
of times.
What are we looking at?
Forza, Sansucci.
Wait, what's going on in New York on the
well,
1st?
Big fun things with the Connected Network. I've explained it already on the show, but will be more explained when I'm there and actually live, in person.
Secrets.
In person. There's a lot of cool things are going to be happening. Put it that way.
Where's that at?
This is beautiful.
In New York.
How many weeks is that? Do you know?
60 days.
60, a good solid 60 days. Because it looks like it could. I mean, it looks like it's one of those ones where it's real light. You don't get a lot of. You kind of like.
How did over this pandemic did we not invent smell-o-vision? I'm sitting here going, man, I wish I could smell that.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, you do. Actually, it's happening. There's Japan. I've seen these guys. They have it. They've got it. Like,
That shit's weird.
where they can. It's not a smell of vision, but it's going to be where it's the first stages where they can send you. They can send smells from one place to another, and they have like an inkjet printer type thing that's going to print all the different terps. But it wasn't not geared towards cannabis. It was geared towards
Everything.
everything.
Across the board.
That's wild.
But the idea is that then I can send you the smell, and you can then your machine can then replicate it with.
So all
so
of
it's
your everything, esters, phenols. Like,
so it's definitely coming. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If that's already there, where they have that, then yeah, at some point. And I
If
think
I
there was an attempt, I think, at one point where they had like things on the side of the screens, and they would, certain times of them. But it was also for very specific, easy things to replicate. Like you're walking through a peppermint forest. Whoa, it smells like peppermint in here. Like that wasn't so hard to like replicate. But if it's gonna be like complicated, weird, like.
I wonder without all of those extra clues if I would actually say I'm walking through a peppermint forest, though.
Well, if they had the right combo of the wind in your hair and the, and the peppermint smells and the yeah, you might.
and candy.
Exactly, enough candy. But no, I think that's
What is this?
it's coming. I doubt it'll be very accurate with cannabis because cannabis is just so. It's just there's too many nuances. You know what I mean? They're gonna hit like. Myrcene, they're gonna hit like all the top things. They're gonna be like a lot of terpenoline. They're gonna because they'll be like, oh, Jack terpenoline. Oh, this one myrcene. Oh, this one. They'll be able to limonene, but it won't be. You'll very rarely be able to catch those little tiny like this stuff that you just showed me would be really hard to replicate. Like,
Right,
because
and that's the same thing that you see with all of the terpene companies that try to replicate strains and label them and say that this is going to smell like OG Kush. It's just always
because that's got like a
missing
totally
something.
not labeled by any strain that I would put it. It's got more of a. That's got more like true, not lavender because lavender is very specific, but more like when you get those perfumes that are just so light and kind of like hard to even describe, like here I am having a hard time describing it, right?
Exactly.
Yes.
But
No, I love it
Like
though because
purple,
I'm terrible at describing
purple.
stuff that. Yeah, exactly. That's how.
well,
I'm like, this smells gassy.
Well, like Jasmine's one of those ones where it's kind of like subtle enough, but it's got enough. There's like a distinct point of the jasmine where you can say, okay, that smells like jasmine. But if it's like watered down version of it, it'd be really hard to say what it is because it's like so, or honeysuckle or something like that, where it's just like kind of like it smells sweet, but not very distinct enough that you can nail it with something like one terp or something like that.
Absolutely. There was this company, Ebna, that talked to and worked with a little bit, and they have they do replicas of their. They take a terpene profile of a plant and then they replicate their terpenes and say that this is as close as they can get to blueberry or whatever. But they came up with this product called Kush Note, and adding that to their hybrid terpene blends really did give it was the first thing ever that my brain was just like, ooh, that actually kind of could trick me into thinking it was weed.
Huh. That's interesting. Yeah, there was a company back in the early 90s that was a guy who was he was an Italian guy. He came to Amsterdam and he was all into perfumes and he was like determined. Du Petit was the name of the company, right? You can see him if you go online, see Du Petit. It's like he's got a whole line. And he came to me and he was so proud of it, like so fucking proud. He was like, oh, and when you smell it, and I was like, oh, it smells like lawn clippings, dude. This is terrible. Like, this is terrible, right? And he was like,
cure it right.
And he was like, what? What? No. Everybody tells me it smells just like. I was like, yeah, but everybody's an idiot, and they don't fucking know what weed smells like, obviously, because you've been asking the wrong people. Because I'm telling you, that does not smell like good weed. That smells like, at best, fresh cut lawn clippings and not cannabis lawn clippings. You know, just like
they call it grass.
and it was just like, yeah, it was just. But the thing is, and then he told me at the time, he's like, well, if I cannot, even though THC doesn't have a smell, it's the constituents that all come with it. Which, you know, he understood the principle. It's just that he was like, well, if I can't put it in there, I really can't ever. I just can't do it. It's too fucking complicated, and I agree. So, luckily, and I think that's been the magic of the whole thing from day one is that it's like, you know, you can smoke 20 kinds of weed and they all have something different, nuances between them. Not so much anymore because everybody's fucking been reintroducing them to themselves, but especially back in the day when there was very distinct like lines coming out of, you know, if you smoke Jamaican weed, it was probably not the same weed as, you know, coming in out of, you know, Mexico. But nowadays, a lot of that stuff's the same. Like there was guys growing the same weed in Mexico as they're growing, and they'll be different because they're coming from different places. But unfortunately,
absolutely, I've had friends that have gone to Jamaica, and not going to name names in any way, shape, or form, and they brought back what they thought was landrace, and it's like Blue Dream.
Blue Dream landrace. No, and the funny part is of course, and we've discussed it on the show multiple times, but you know, as a grower, no matter where you are in the world or what level you're at, you're always looking to grow better weed. Like there's nobody who's like, hey, I'm going to keep growing this because it's traditional and I want to grow the most traditional weed possible. It's like, well, you got something that grows bigger, better, more. Oh, I want that. And they'll just, you know, that gets tossed to the fucking side, right? And then everybody's trying to progress forward. Yeah. So it's hard to, like, you know, you can't blame the guys in those places that originally had those land races for not always wanting to strive to have something that's totally not local weed, because that's what separates you from the other people, right? All of a sudden you got something new. And it's funny because America's now considered like the fucking everybody, like Europeans, all they want is American strains, and really it's a lot of times it's European strains going, you know, it's stuff that was originally sent from Europe to here, then back to there's so much mixing up that it's gotten to the point where it's like, it's really sad sometimes. Like I've been to places where I've gone on rented cars and driven like hundreds of miles and then got there and they go, oh, it's from Sensi Seeds. And I go, dude, I worked at Sensi Seeds for 5 years. Why would I want to come all the way over here to see that? Like
trying to get something new. But at the same time, without proper testing, like we were talking about testing before. Mm-hmm. You guys were talking about testing before. And without proper testing and testing for everything in these different that we move on from strains, chemotypes, phenotypes, whatever. How are we really judging that it's better and that we should move on from it and there isn't something special there? And so,
well, I think we're getting too quick to throw shit to the curb too, because like really, I hate when people, like, I would always get sad when people, I'd be like, you know, they'd buy a bunch of seeds one year at the cup and they'd come back the next year and you'd be like, hey, you know, how'd it go? And a lot of times they'd be like, well, you know, we fucked up on this or that, or the flats got mixed up or whatever, but we didn't keep anything in the end. I'm like, you didn't keep anything?
That's my favorite.
You had like 100 different strains and you didn't keep a single anything? I'm like, nah, you know, and we ran through it all and it's just like, wow.
Well, there was this one super fire one and we loved that one, and it's like, I love that all the time.
Have you heard of this the hop latent Byroid?
Oh, we sell that direct. You want some? I got some.
Oh, facts.
I got it. No, it's that
everyone's
shit.
new excuse for growing shitty weed.
And yeah, I mean, it definitely will do that. That's for sure. I think Colorado is pretty riddled. I mean, it's one of those places where you can walk into almost any grow and see stuff that looks like possible potentials. You know what I mean? To have the latent, the hop latent, and I've seen a lot of it. You know, Cali is crazy because it's like.
How would you not expect that with
nurseries
the way that
were dumping, you know, nurseries were just not knowing they had it and selling it off.
Yeah, for sure.
Or knowing they had it even, you know what I mean? Because that's the scary part. Is there's a lot of people that don't want to take the loss when they have 10,000 plants that they know they got to pretty much destroy all of them if they want to.
They're still operating.
Yeah.
They're still selling their fucking clones.
It's a scary thing as a grower. It's definitely one of those, but it's kind of like a lot of things. Like
weird. I find it weird that they're the only ones doing research on it. Also,
who's that?
Dark Heart.
Yeah. And and putting it out there at the same time.
Yeah, dude. Like they're selling everyone their genetics that they know has this high latent viroid that they're doing research on, and it's just like cool. Why is that? I don't get it.
Well, it's just one of those deals. It's like, it's why we should be growing from seed, right? I mean, as much as possible. And especially because now we have the ability to do it. I think clones always have their place. Obviously, you need to be comfortable cloning, and you need to like save stuff and put like, hey, that's really good. We'll take a cut, put it on the side, use it. But when it gets to the point of like, that's all you know how to do, and you don't never pop anything new, you're definitely sort of fading backwards, in my opinion, kind of fading away, because the only thing that's people are so fickle, and they want the newest and the new and the freshest of the fresh. And the funny part is before, as growers, we all were only wanted those clone onlys, because then we knew what we had was exactly what we had. Exactly. Because the minute you try to make a seed from something that's already not in your control of your own,
this motherfucker. How many seeds did you pop last year?
20 a week for the last 16 months. We've been pulling down multiple phenos of at least one or two genetics every week for the last long time.
And as a grower, isn't that the most exciting part of the whole thing, right? Like,
absolutely,
finally get to see something new. Like, yes,
it's literally what makes it fun. You're walking, every single hoop has like 10 different new phenotypes, plus you've got 3 rows of all of your favorite genetics already running. So yeah, it's the best thing in the world, honestly.
Oh yeah, by the way, this is a call-in show. We haven't had a single call-in. That shows you how awesome.
I know. Simon said he was going to call in.
Our call-in situation is, if you do want to call, it's 720-310-8237. And I didn't even put in TADS. I should have put TADS, right? It would have been smarter to, like, in the ad, put in TADS, right? But I thought if I put TADS in, no one's going to call, because they're going to be like, I didn't even know that was a phone number. And you're like, dude, that's how we used to do it back in the day. We used to use letters. Right. Like, what? What do you mean? What's a phone anyway? Like, so, but it just shows you how lame our phone-in abilities are on the show.
People were trying to call in like this morning. It was funny. I was like having to turn it off on my
Don't you do this at the same
cell
time?
phone. It was funny.
Like,
yeah.
Fucking stoner.
Oh, I love when everybody asks me what time, when's your show? And I'm like,
yeah, I definitely did that yesterday.
It's same Friday as it always. I thought it was on Thursdays, and you're like, you don't listen to the show, obviously. If that's your lame ass.
That's what I've been on your show twice, and I haven't listened to any of them. I'm not gonna lie. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I was in the car today. I said, "Did you listen to any of the New Year's special?" I was like, "It's hilarious." When Tommy was on there, I was telling him about a couple of the things that I was watching.
Yeah,
right.
It's okay. It doesn't hurt me at all, because I don't listen to my own show ever, because it's live. If it wasn't live, I may listen to it. But since it's live, and we have made a pact between me and Mark that we'll never listen to the show ever again.
I bet
right?
Tim is probably listening. Tim listens to your show.
Tim is listening to the show right now, and he's listening for his name to be said.
Tim is the fucking man.
Tim.
Watching back
you
on my 12-hour
mean
show.
Tim H? You mean the guy behind the T-Sage?
Yes.
That guy?
Yes.
That Tim?
Yes.
Actually, I know.
That T-Sage is fucking
what's hilarious?
fire,
What's
too.
hilarious is in Oklahoma. Remember, we met baby Tim. Remember, we met Tim's doppelganger.
Oh yeah.
So there's a kid.
Yeah,
there's a
dude.
kid there who I met when I first went there, and he reminded me of Timmy right away. But he's actually, then I met him again this time, and I was like, wait a minute, he looks just like Uncle Andy. But like a baby version. He's like a mini version of Uncle Andy with Tim's exact sort of demeanor. Oh, it was fun.
Whose uncle is Andy?
He's everybody's uncle. He's Weed's uncle.
That's weird.
He's like Uncle Fester of Weed.
Got it.
There you go. How you like that for a description? He's listening. I know he's listening right now at Area 420. They're all waiting for us.
Oh,
over there.
man.
They're waiting. They can't wait.
What is that?
What?
What is what?
You are really showing off how much you don't listen to the show. Okay, so Area 420, which we talk about almost every show now for the last 10 shows, because it's the hottest, coolest place. This is the cool. Okay, as a guy from Colorado, or who's worked in Colorado, not from, interesting factoid.
No one's from Colorado.
Okay, now
Anymore.
that's not anymore. Exactly.
That's an argument
when
for
you
another
do
time.
when you do meet them, you're like, wow, you really? Or they have a native sticker, but they're not really. That's the funny
Right,
one.
that's just
Like,
hilarious.
I've been here for 10 years. I'm a native now, I guess. Right? No, that's not true.
Appropriated data.
That's not true. And what was I saying? Now I lost my total train.
Area 420.
Oh, there you go. See, I forgot all about it. So anyway, so Area 420,
That's my job.
which is where we're doing our show from next Tuesday. All right?
This is like a club.
No, this is an area.
Well, no, it is kind of like a
True.
club.
It's gonna be eventually, but no, it's a 420 acre farm, well not farm, ranch or a piece of property, I guess, in Moffat, Colorado. No, which is near Crestone. Now we found out just recently that, and even Mike just found out just recently that Moffat was founded on 420 in 1911.
Wow.
Founders
So-
Day.
And they're having a party there, also on 420 in the middle at the town's like town halls having a party. So I'm like, dude,
It was meant for us.
how fucking crazy is that? Anyway, this land happens to be 420 acres. The well is 1,420 feet. So it's like weird, just like everything, all these
I
420.
drive through Moffat twice a week.
Do you?
Yep.
So you know the big compound on the right hand side. There's only one thing
Oh,
going
yeah.
on. That's it. That's Area 420. So we're doing the show from there. They sell acres for $200,000 with a license included. So you can come home
Stop.
for $200K, have your own license, start your own brand, and be branded up.
You were telling me
it.
about
And it's real.
this.
And it's one of those deals where it was almost like the first time that I went to Amsterdam. Like I went there, and this is in like 1989, right? And there was no internet. There was no like, you just kind of like you heard about Amsterdam. Like, yeah, there's weed there.
You bought a copy of the Mellow
And
Pages.
I went there. No, it didn't exist even when I was there. So that didn't even exist yet. So I went there, and I went to my first coffee shop, and then I just went out and called Mojave, and I have my friend in Cali, and I'm like, it's real, dude. It's happening. You got to come here now. Like, come here now. You must come here now. It was like pretty much like, I just realized that was the thing. And when I went to Area 420, it was almost the same feeling where I was like, wait a minute. So you're telling me that I can grow here? There's no building codes in Moffat, right?
What?
None.
Zero.
That's why those places look like that. You drive a little bit
It's
past
like
it,
Houston.
and there's literally there's greenhouses, and they've got like dirt all pushed up the whole side. Like,
Oh yeah, those are all
sides
the
of 'em with
Walapinis. They're all Walapinis.
Yeah,
So
it's crazy.
no, and
There's no food though. You have to bring your own food there.
Absolutely.
It's
Yeah,
an
one
amazing
restaurant.
it's an amazing thing because it's and on top of that, the main guy there, Michael, he went to jail for 8 years for cannabis. He's from Colorado. He came out of jail, came home, and was like, I cannot work in the industry. Like, this sucks. You know what I mean? Like, he realized, like, he pretty much was not going to be able to work. Went to Moffat, talked to the guys there who were like, oh, that's the mayor. Go talk to him. No problem. We can do that. That's doable. The MED totally cleared it. It's all evil. So you can work as a felon. You can go down there, get yourself your acre, get back in the fucking game, get your social equity, fucking do your own social equity program.
That's pretty.
Michael's the
Fucking
mayor now.
dope.
That's amazing.
And it's it's literally like this town has 160 people in the town registered in the town. There's already 51 active grows out there. There's going to be another 145 or 185, I think, going in. So on this one property, so at a certain point, basically once phase 3 is done, he's explained to us that 46.3% of all the licenses in Colorado will be on that one property. But active licenses, because there's over 300 of them, which is crazy if you think about it. Like, you're like, wait a minute, that's the
So,
numbers right now.
We have a spot our spot in Ordway is on this 1,800 acre farm, and there's 22 different grows on the same street.
So it's starting to happen, like,
Yeah, and
but
you
this is
can
on
see-
one property, like.
That's
one-
what this
yeah.
is.
Oh yeah, it's one property.
But I see. No, it's not like what I drive past that you're talking about. It does not have a single fence around
Oh
all
no,
of
that's
them,
crazy. That's crazy.
Which
these
is
are
what
all,
you're talking.
No, these are all smart. These are all, and the thing that's funny is people come down there and they're like, oh, so we can, and you're like, no, absolutely not, dude. This is 100% official. Everything's legit. They have their own MED officer who's only assigned to that one thing because there's so many groups down there already. And we're stoked because it's going to become. the new, like, it's funny because my old shop in Amsterdam, we used to call it the epicenter of the cannabis universe, because everybody would just end up there because they'd be like, wait a minute, you could, and now that's going to be, in my opinion, the new epicenter, at least for Colorado, because it's like once you get in there, you're going to be like, huh?
Or places like that. Like I'm saying, like any place that has 10 or 20 grows or whatever. We've talked about it with our crew in Ordway as well, and it's like it makes no sense for those people not to connect and get together and start working together.
Well, that's what's great to see about
think that you're like
you're
not going to deal with each other's problems
Right.
is just insane.
Yeah, no, it's better to nip that in the bud and deal with it early, and then be explained, like make sure people aren't just blasting out fucking mails at the wrong time or doing
Right.
something stupid and fucking
And
up
if
the whole.
there is someone that's just being reckless,
Well,
on
there's a no mail policy in that area, so they already have
that.
that.
But who's to say that
Well-
you can't, like, someone's not going to be like, oh shit, this one harmed, and
Oh, no, of course.
I'm not going to say anything about it.
Of course, I mean, and that would be the obvious thing that most people would do. They cut it and hope for the best, right? Like, but surprisingly enough, they've already gone for 2 years and they haven't had any major issues like that. It hasn't come up, and there's already been that many, and there's been enough sloppy grows going on, and people it wasn't like they're all precision operated fucking deals every time. And I'm sure there's been a few that have come in and figured out it wasn't their thing, and that's part of the deal.
That would be
too.
the beautiful thing that I think you could find out by working together, is that everybody could run their own grow, and you could still have a collective community that like everybody agrees on the same things.
Well, they're doing it. They're having meetings. They have their meetings going
MSOs.
on. It's like, it's nice if you go on.
Yeah.
So they have them like live on Instagram. They'll do their meetings, and you'll see, oh, cool. These guys are actually trying to do all that, which is best thing you can do is self-regulate everything before they come and regulate you, because then a lot of times they don't even know what they're regulating. So they're like,
go above their standards.
and then you're like, oh, well, maybe we'll just do what you're doing because that looks really smart. And you're
Exactly.
like, hey, because we do that. That's what we do. And that's kind of the way. Is that me or who's that? Who's that? Is it you still?
Yes.
Jesus,
Oh, my
Mr.
goodness.
Popular. Wow. 3
It's,
times? I don't know.
It's the
So-
what are you? What are you?
What?
What are you working on right now?
Oh,
Are
top
you-
secret. It's all top secret. I can't come on the show every week and tell everyone what I'm doing. Otherwise, that would be like suicide, wouldn't it? They'd be like, cut him off at the pass. He's got a great idea once again. No, I just throw all these diversions out during the show. I throw all these great ideas that sound great, but they're probably not going to work. So then,
what strains are you growing right now?
oh, is that what you're talking about? Strains? Okay, now we can talk.
What strains are you
What
growing?
What
Well,
strains?
Strands.
supposed to
They're
say
called
what gear
strands. They're
you're
strands. You know they're strands anyway.
Yeah,
so
you're
don't come in here with your fake talk.
Strandivars?
Your strains.
What cultivars?
Exactly, strandivars.
Strandivars. That's good.
I have been
Strandivarian.
I have been unfortunately just waiting patiently to. I have so many seeds to go through that I'm just like, there's no point of doing them at my place
Right.
because I need to get them into the system and into the right group's hands, and also to have that. I need more people. So right now I'm just maintaining most of the things I have, and then recently the things I did grow was from our buddy T Dog, was his kosher kitty, which was a kosher Cush cat piss. Oops. Like that. And then that was one of the newer ones that was nice that I liked.
Like that.
I did.
Are you talking about the curry kitty?
Yeah, it was weird. It's not curry now. Like there was just one time, right, Mark? One time.
It was that one time in when we
We went to Oklahoma. I took the weed to Oklahoma, and it turned into curry weed.
Yeah.
I don't know. I
It
don't.
was the weirdest fucking thing.
I
dude.
swear to
He has
God.
this stuff that
Like, it was a clean
smells like
jar, right?
breakfast
It was a clean
sausage.
jar,
Okay.
and it was fine.
No, he had curry in it before.
And then tried
Oh,
to
it
wash
was
it.
oh shit! I had curry in it. That's the
Yeah,
whole
man.
reason. I never thought of that.
Oh, that's
You
fucked
keep-
up.
Those are perfect jars for curry.
Yeah,
That's right.
What happened?
Have you
curry.
ever smelled any sort of Jimmy Dean's breakfast sausage terpene profile?
I try not
Adam?
to. I try
Jimmy
not to.
Dean?
I wouldn't.
This
I
stuff
would
is
not identify it as
Yeah,
Jimmy
I've
Dean.
got
I would
a,
just say that's meat. I've had meaty weed
Is
though
it
for
vegan?
sure.
Like
It's,
maple sausage.
maple now. See, maple sausage is
Just
starting to
ridiculous.
get.
It's smoked
Oh, that's
sweet,
the Jimmy Dean part.
but
Is
like,
that the maple stuff?
well, on the plant, it's like straight sausage, but then cured and smoked, it's a little bit sweeter. But yeah,
So you can walk in the room, and every time you walk in, just be like sausage fest.
Yeah,
Go in,
Straight
go
up.
cocky, have them all slapping you in the face. Get all those
absolutely,
cocky.
100%.
Nothing. Just get in there. Get in there while you're doing the deleafing. You're like, ah.
You might be. It's a pretty plant. It
Weird
gets all
terps,
nice.
man.
It
It's
gets
crazy.
these sunset colors in the leaves when it's fading in the greenhouse and everything. It's animal cookies, BX1, sour diesel, permafrost from in-house.
Wow.
But yeah, that Pheno just smells like Jimmy Dean's breakfast sausage.
Interesting. Yeah, there's, I think a lot of savory kind of smelling shit. People don't appreciate it enough, but I think those are always the ones that are strong. Like they just tend to be the powerhouse plants because they're not as terpy on the high end sort of sweet side, but there's something like I had stuff like that was like we would just call it jerky. Like we'd think of it like jerky weed or something, but the problem with them is that it didn't get enough appreciation from the masses. You know what I mean? Because they were looking for the pop. They want the really high.
Exactly. How many people are gonna be like, I woke up and I really wanted to smoke that sausage.
Well, that could. Hey, I think you need to ISO that one. He needs
Smoke
to wake
that
it up
sausage,
and
yeah.
smoke
that
it.
sausage.
He wakes up and smokes that. We put that
That's the
together.
drop.
I got the show pretty figured out. We do a totally new edited version of the show now, where he just sits up all night and we re-edit it to make our guests sound like they're ridiculous.
That will be amazing.
I
You
know.
can
Says
do
that
that
over and over again. Answered every
So that is
question.
definitely going to be it's going to be reused as a nonstop.
100%.
No, I think the savory. I mean, it's funny because like GMO, everybody said it was garlic mushroom onions, and then later we found out it was not garlic mushroom onions. It had nothing to do with that, but it got enough play that people, how people are. They're like, oh yeah, I'm tasting the mushrooms in there. Like
when the
you can just say the
No,
word.
that got me so upset so many times because I had
Had you perpetuated that myth?
I don't
for
know
people,
his
or?
name. I met him through a friend at Topgolf in MJ BizCon a couple of years ago. But TH Caesar.
Yeah.
So he had gone through and gotten all of the Instagram messages and texts and posts from Mamico and Skunk Master Flex and all of that stuff. And so when everybody was doing the garlic mushroom onions, it was just like I had screenshotted all of it in my phone, and as soon as somebody would say it, I would just hold it up to him and be like, just please read through these 5 screenshots.
So you were actually helping demythify it. Thank you.
Trying to.
Look at that. I didn't even know. Oh, wow. It's almost like we're starting the 24-hour episode. Oh, I know. That's how it's going to be. So we have a garden to guy is going to be supplying us with teas the entire time.
Oh, wow.
So that we don't get too, so we have to piss basically every 5 minutes is what's going to happen. I'll be like, I got to piss.
What kind of tea? Like
I think it's going to be
electric tea?
No, it's going to be green tea chai. So there's lots of caffeine in it. Basically, is what we're trying to. We need to stay. We're gonna stay up for 24 hours, dude. You're not, obviously. I can't wait to see Dave as a big pilot.
I'm gonna try.
That's gonna be hilarious. What do you mean? Sounds horrible?
That sounds
Like
horrible.
you've never stayed up.
What
This
do you
kid
mean,
has been up. How many raves did you go to and stayed up for
Bro,
like
I'm
3
old.
days after the rave?
I'm old now, man.
And grinded your teeth down.
Wait, did you say you're old?
I can say for the
He says he's old, and he's like the kid in the room, basically.
but for the last 5 years, he's been going to bed at 8:30, 9 o'clock. And
Really?
Yeah. That's
I
my
work
normal
like
time.
10 or 12 hours a day, though. Pretty much every day.
Okay. If you
Welcome
call
to
that work,
adulthood.
I guess that's
All right.
I've talked to your boss.
Yeah, I'll have
Come look at my garden.
Come
man.
look at my God. Look at my canopy, man.
Yeah.
Canopy on lock. It's fun because I think you're following in the industry bastard stepchild of Dread. Pretty much you're following his footsteps.
I've never met him, man. He seems like such a fucking cool dude.
You've
He
never
is
met
killing
Dread?
it. No,
Yeah,
like
he's a
him
super
and
dude.
Timmy
He's
were
a
really
cool
good
dude.
friends. I
That's
guess
so
Timmy
weird.
would tell
That
me
is so
about it.
weird.
I haven't. I never have.
No, because
I've been following him on Instagram though, and he's fucking crushing it out there in Cali.
Yeah.
He's killing it.
I'm the hype man.
Listen to our hype man in the corner. Yeah. Killing it, man. Killing it.
Yes, he is.
I don't know if he's in the chat. I don't know if he's in the chat right now, but if he
usually
is,
watching on Facebook.
show yourself, boy. No, he doesn't like when we do ads. I know all the things he hates. He hates our ads.
Uh-oh.
He always turns us off when we do it when we start doing
And
an ad.
let's do an ad
Let's do
right
an ad
now.
and get rid of him. Get him out
Well,
of
I
here.
have a confession to make.
What's that?
I was supposed to, I went and I picked up a whole bunch of Nove chocolates from Bob because he's like, listen, I'm told he eats the non-medicated ones, but he says they're fantastic. I'm like, I'll be the judge of that. So I opened up the raspberry.
I don't know, how drunk did you get? Or how many of those did you drink when you were not in the room? Were you like over there shotgunning them or something? I'm back, and I need Macho Man you guys to death over here.
Back to DJC's story.
DJC's telling a story?
Yeah, dude.
I'm telling you, I ate this Nove chocolate. I was supposed to save some for you guys to try, but I shit you not. And it took me a second to place it because it was so fucking amazing. But you ever eat those? They sell little like ice cream bonbons, the raspberry flavored ones. Oh my God! This chocolate bar. If you like edibles, this chocolate bar is fucking amazing.
Raspberry
It's a
bramble.
home run.
Look at you in your guts. Your fucking
Nice,
blunt
dude.
guts. Blunt gut.
I was supposed to save some
Heaven
for
over
you,
here.
but I ate half of it, and I'm going to eat the other half right now. So
put them on your
too
table.
bad.
Eat it in front of us.
But those are medicated or what?
Yes,
CBD
100
medicated.
milligrams. It's a rec bar.
No,
Oh.
it's Rick. It's THC.
Oh,
Yes.
wait.
And we're
Come
gonna
on,
give-
We
man.
ain't messing
Come on,
around.
man.
Come on, man.
Come on, man.
That's some good
We're going to
marketing
give
right
away
there.
some
man.
on Tuesday and Wednesday. So if you're a local Coloradan, that'll be one of the prizes on the prize wheel. Will be a whole bunch of different Nove chocolates. This is their
So,
caramel.
so this is one of those deals like at a raffle when the people who don't have their tickets and we're just there all day. Like, are you from Colorado? No. All right, spin again. Are you from Colorado?
No, I think what we'll do is we'll give the chocolate away and the
I think we just do that locally.
the
We just-
THC products to people who are there.
There you
with us.
go. Now we're talking. We have to make another wheel,
Just give it to me.
a third wheel.
Okay.
So, welcome.
I
Zach.
like
What's
that
go-
one.
What's that? Drippy drops?
Yeah, that's like the marketing behind it. It looks really cool.
What were they? I've never tried that
It's like a
product.
small drop.
What?
The was it tinctures? What were they?
Yeah, it was like a
drip?
tincture.
Was it special
I think-
tincture? Or is it like a fruity tincture or something?
Let me
Drinky
look.
drinks?
It just looked nice.
Oh,
just
that's
soft. It was like
that's
subtle.
the
It was like a subtle
Incredibles
one.
Wellness. I think that's a CBD tincture.
Yeah, it was
Okay.
Yeah.
It wasn't like a drink
It's
thing.
No, she was putting it in a drink.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Technical.
Yes.
So Zach, what's going down?
What's happening with you, buddy?
Just chilling, watching him try to roll joints and talk at the same time.
Yeah.
It's impossible.
Hey, man,
It's physically
I
impossible.
got it done.
It happens.
Did it done it. So what have you been up to? What are you in?
Mr. Dunn.
You keep coming in and out. We've missed each other like 3 times now.
Yeah,
So
I'm just here, like our main guy Leland's here, and he's just he's on the street, he's doing his thing and making
beating
it
the
work.
street.
He's
Beating the street.
Yeah,
So Leland's making some fire fucking seeds too, man.
yeah.
Tell us,
Leland's
what
no
do you-
joker. He's no buster.
No buster.
He ain't no punk. He ain't no punk. I tell you what, but it's great because he's got that underground game going on. It's like he's not out there trying to like just blast it, and just trying to. Actually, what we were talking about earlier is keeping it on the low. Keeping it
Was
down.
that was rolled that quickly? No.
No, I'm gonna put more guts.
Oh, he's
in your
going.
fucking
Oh,
ass.
you're putting more guts. Oh
He
man.
was just bitching about it.
I was telling this. I was saying like back in the day when I came back from Amsterdam for like one of the first times back to New York, and it was like in '90 maybe or '91, and it was raining out, and there was guts everywhere, right? And I didn't know what they were, and I thought it was dog shit because they were just like, and I was like, how are they getting dogs up onto the edges of these things all everywhere? Like, who's doing? Like, they picking dogs up, and like it was just tripping me out. Because then later I was like, oh, it's from the blunts. Now I get it.
He's showing the
'Cause
age.
nobody smoked. Well, nobody
Look
smoked
at
blunts
you.
in Europe. I was over there for a couple of years, and all of a sudden I got back, and that was like the hot new thing that wasn't really happening when I left as much. It's
What's the one? I'm gonna throw it out there, but on our way over here, I was like talking to my business partner, and he's like, Adam Dunn. He's like, I know Adam Dunn. I asked somebody else that's actually in the industry, big time, and said Adam Dunn. He's like, never heard of him, and I was like, you've never heard of Adam Dunn? And I'm
The
like,
baseball
no,
player?
and the reason why I'm saying
The
that is
baseball
because
player, yes.
he's young. He's young.
these kids, these kids these days.
Kids these days.
Oh, they don't know.
I've known you for how many
kids.
years, but it's like I'm young compared to you in the game.
Well, it's
But
just,
it's like-
I mean, it's just funny because it's like you get it's weed world is very small. Like we think about it as being huge because we all are in it, right? So like we know most of the. We think we do at least, you know what I mean? Then you go to like the fucking MJ BizCon or something big gigantic thing, and then you look at all the people and you're like, whoa, where did all these people come from? And it's just like there is so many people that have been, I've been in it since 2009, and you're like, okay, that's cool. You know what I mean? And you see this.
You were shitting in diapers when I was doing this.
Well, no, not even that, but just like there's so many people coming in at different levels, and I mean, the good part is that. I mean, not a good part, I guess, for the people who it happens to, but 90+% are not going to stay because it's not their thing. They just don't know it yet. They haven't figured it out until they come in and they think they're going to like change the game. And you're like, oh, actually, there's enough people focusing on the same thing. I think the big shift is going to be like that now people have, if you've been in, like, if you're like, my age and you haven't done something already.
How old is your age, by the way?
I'm 51 going on 52.
Son of a mother.
So if you're something in that age, those are this is like our dream time, like for all those guys. Cause we all grew up like, man, imagine if, but if you're like a kid, it's a weird, totally different thing. Like if you're like in your 20s and it's like, you may have had if you're in California, you may have had a shop at your corner of your place your entire life, like selling weed. So for you never saw the big shift, the big, like, imagine if they sold weed in 7-Eleven. Like that's like the next phase, right? Like that's like then it's really fucking over. You know what I mean? As far as like, so wait a minute, you can buy what mids? You can buy fucking Drew's weed at 7-Eleven now? Damn, the world
get that
is
dro
over.
Weed, get that dro weed right here.
Dro weed's not mids. Dro weed is not mids.
But if but that like to some people that's the coolest thing in the world. To me, that's like nail in the coffin of like, well, that's obviously not cool anymore if that's the way. If it's at the 7-Eleven and you can go next, because it's CBD's already there, and we don't buy it there, right? None of us tell people. When you're at the gas station, you need to grab that CBD that's on the fucking counter because that shit for $40 is totally good. You know it's not. Like you look at the prices and you're like, oh my God, they're trying to sell $40 little shit tinctures made by crap that are not worth nothing. But
that's where it's going. It's where it is. So what do we do? What do we do? Give words of wisdom. Give us some juice.
Where did we? Well. We just all start doing heroin now because it's the cool. It's the cool thing. I heard all the cool kids are doing it. I heard that's where we need to go.
Not anymore.
I heard that's how it's a stepping because we're like on the stepping stone, kids, and we need to move up the stones.
We're gonna need lots of time.
Between the toes.
No, I think
it's about real people in the industry getting together and making fucking collectives and building a machine.
Look at him bringing it home, bringing it home. Oh yeah, man, he woke up. Are you not rolling now?
He's woke.
What?
I'm serious.
He's making waves.
That's what it's all about. There's real people that have been doing this shit for a long time that.
But you don't realize that. I mean, you obviously do realize, but that shit's coming. That monster is looking you in the face.
Absolutely. But that's what I'm saying. And there's people that are going to get ran the fuck over, and we have a better chance of not getting ran the fuck over if we all join together and we are one big group.
That's true.
In my personal opinion.
I mean, it sounds great, right? It sounds all good and fair, but what makes the difference in all of a sudden XYZ over here is getting $100 for something, and then XYZ over here is getting $5,000, and then all of a sudden they're going like the 5,000 is going, I don't need the 100, and now this guy's just trampling over the next one. So it sounds good in theory that we're all going to come together. But how do we actually collectively
drum circle,
do that?
Kumbaya. Come on, guys. Kumbaya, my lord. Kumbaya.
That's a Leland song right there.
Yeah, he's on that one.
Well, Leland just he breaks it down for me, man, and like he sees a perspective that I don't actually usually get to experience with my own brain. So I mean, for me, he's a whole nother fucking level. This guy, he trips me out sometimes. So yeah, I mean, like even today, talking about some like vaccine shit. Like, I'm seeing it one way. He offers a perspective that's another way.
You're already like getting your chair emptied soon, and you're gonna have to bring him in because he's like you're hyping him. You're hyping him too hard.
He's coming in a minute. He's coming in.
You're hyping him too hard.
But yeah, I mean, it's like fuck. I think about that, and I love the idea of the collective.
I don't mean fucking everybody either. I mean, it has to be a team. It has to be people that can work together.
Well, that's the hard part. It's like getting everybody in the playground.
It's damn near impossible.
To not fucking.
But sometimes it takes looking at a motherfucker like this. just like this.
Yeah,
Like,
absolutely.
spending time with them.
Absolutely.
There's fucking
With a-
companies
with
out there
no-
that I know
wait
they
a
don't
minute.
spend no time with their.
What if
with
you
their
put a
customers,
keyboard in
clients.
between each other? I think that would be the best. I think if you just put a keyboard in between, then all the reality, like the real talk will come. Real talk. Now it's all real talk.
Well, this isn't about me out here like trying to like pump up our company or anything. It's about like at this point, what we do is our idea is a face-to-face thing, man. We share our time with each other. We spend our time. It's not over a keyboard. You don't get to send in a quality control report through that. Somebody calls you, and that's what I want. Yeah, and that's what we're talking about, the weed industry, and that's what, no matter what level you're at, whether it's from the growing side or the manufacturing to distribution or trimming, all that shit. Having a direct contact with the source so that people can work through shit instead of fucking like Adam said, through a keyboard. That shit's whack. Right. Ain't nobody got time for that. The perspective.
Well, it's the idea. It's the same. It's the same as from a grower's point of view. Like when you are working with somebody who doesn't grow, and then you tell them something, and then you leave the room, and the first thing they do is go to the computer and double check your work. Yeah. And you're like, who are you checking this with? You're checking this with a guy who's trying to sell you a product. Like, don't you see? Like, that's not. You don't want to go to the top 3 answers because those top 3 answers are definitely selling you something, right? You've got to
spend all their money.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's what we're trying to avoid. Us in particular, we're trying to avoid that idea because.
So just having the quality,
contact.
like when you if you bring in, X, Y, and Z into the mix, right? And they're all been vetted by the people, not by the industry standards.
We got a caller.
Yeah. Well, we got a caller. Caller! Somebody's got balls. Who's calling?
What's that, man?
Let's see. Can we hear him? I don't hear nothing.
Do we got the caller? Huh.
The balls just shriveled up.
Got scared. He had a seedgasm.
Well, Rosendog always has. He always does. But yeah, if you bring in enough talent, like I was saying, like XYZ, you bring in that talent into the room, and if they all have enough experience, and even though they might not agree on right out of the gate on particular growing techniques, because I think everybody kind of attacks things differently. Usually, when it comes down to the where we were talking about earlier, the weak points are the curing and the drying and the fucking process, all that kind of stuff. When you have like people who have been doing it for 20, 30 years, and definitely it's like it's important as fuck because that's where you fuck it all up, right? So you don't want to do that. Then you don't even run into those issues because those people have got that experience already from the real world, not from quick on the computer. It says you got to go 10 days and then you got to do this, but they don't know where you are, right? Like if you're in
Detroit,
if you're like in East Coast, if you're in Massachusetts and they say 10 days and then put a ticket off the vine, it's like, no, dude, that shit is still wet as fuck. It's like,
If you call back.
Oh, we got a call.
Yeah, no, if you call back. I just got it all set up, so it should be.
We had it all. We had it.
I haven't used Skype in forever, so
Lord.
it's like it's all.
How can we have a call-in show and we don't know how to do that? Oh, Mark. Ruined.
All right, so what I want to do is I love to segue into my guy, Leland.
Let's segue.
So Leland is just the dude, man. Got nothing but
Leland
love
is
and
the
respect.
dude.
And
He needs a theme
honor.
song. Do you have a theme song?
Here we go.
Do you have a theme song?
I don't know.
Dude, he loves to talk nutrients. He loves to talk genetics. He loves to
Okay.
talk plants. He loves to talk fucking life. He loves to talk greenhouse. He loves to talk.
Now you're making him work.
Yeah, dude,
He's going to talk about horses.
Unicorns.
What the
fuck? And he's,
okay, we do got someone on the line now.
hold on.
yo, what's going on, my friend? Who we got? Oh my God! We are the
He
worst.
got on here, was like, "What the fuck?" Or something like
We're
that.
the worst. We are the worst
All right,
calling
anyways,
show ever.
Pass it over to
officially.
Leland.
Okay, we're good now.
This is Mr. Leland.
I don't know what
Tip.
I was
This is
just.
the dude. Here we go.
My bad.
Can we hear a ring? Is there a ring part?
See, but I just fixed it. It's all fixed
All
now.
right.
It's
Because I think the
all-
ring part will be like Pavlov's dog deal.
Oh,
We'll be
yeah,
like,
dude.
we got a caller, and then we get the caller, and then we answer the call. Hey, Leland. Now you got a lot to fucking live up to now.
Apparently so.
You have to be interesting. Everything you say, it must be super interesting.
Must be factual.
And accurate and
I have
factual.
to say, I've been finishing all y'all's blunts, so.
Oh, been doing the God's work.
Great.
I know. I rolled that fucking donkey butter blunt. And you guys left.
Oh yeah, that was delicious. Thank you.
See, like I always think of D Money when I think of blunts because he would always smoke like
That's how you know the weed's good, if you can taste it through a blunt.
Oh, that's his quote unquote. That is him. That's to a T. That's literally his.
It's facts. That's why it's.
But he would do it with a grape blunt, which is even worse.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah. Anyway.
I used to do that when I
I know you did. I can tell. I can just tell by looking at you.
Fucking peach blunts.
We actually have it documented on the show from the man himself, Bill Drake. That was it Philly blunts? Which one was the White Owls? Which one was the worst one? It was so bad.
Swisher Sweets.
Oh, Swishers. No, there were 700 times the amount of fucking carcinogens in the Swishers than there were in anything else. Yeah, 700 times.
Yeah, I always went and got the.
That's all.
Like you couldn't make
Imagine
imagine if they made a label that was 700 times the size of the normal label that said this is how much more carcinogen. It'd be like Flav
Swisher Sweets are the equivalent of colon blow.
Colon blasters. Yeah, I don't know. They're anyway.
900
You got to
bowls
beat
of
that.
colon
You got to beat
blow.
that in interesting. So go, Leland, go. So what are you working on strain wise? Because he said you were doing some breeding. So that's
just a little bit.
That's an easy. That's some easy. Toe, dip your toe.
Easy stuff. So right now, I don't know. It's kind of going a couple different directions. Right now, what we're looking for. I think the most interesting project is something that's going to keep up with the higher light intensities that are going on right now. So, we're
for LEDs and stuff.
Yeah, LEDs.
It's funny how they're just, oh my God, this is how it should always work.
There we go.
Welcome to the
Welcome
Adam
to the show.
It's me. Hey, Adam, it's me.
No, it's not.
No, I'm kidding.
Who we got? Oh, wow. That was it? That was you calling?
No, I was kidding because I knew they were going to hang up again. So
No, caller,
Are you
you're on the
there,
air.
caller?
I can hear him in the background, sort
I
of.
can hear them breathing.
I can hear him breathe.
Does this work?
Yeah. We got
What's going on?
What's going on?
Yeah.
Who we got? Can you hear us?
Your delay is great for radio.
Yo, can you hear us?
I don't think this is working.
Oh.
We can hear you. We can hear you, but you can't hear us.
Huh.
Oh.
Well, then they have to turn the radio and wait
Jamie
30
strikes
seconds,
again.
then hear what we say, then answer us, then wait 30 seconds. Mark's gonna figure it out. It's just technical,
Shitty
We're not
Jamie
really
strikes
good at the
again.
call-in part of the call-in shows. We're good at everything else. The show part, no problem. It's just the call-in part.
Adam's Dumb Show.
What?
It has been called Adam's Dumb Show many times. Don't you worry. Don't you worry.
It's like one of the top 7 podcasts in the
When your
nation.
name is Adam Dunn, then you've heard the Adam Dumb many times in your life, or as you were a child, you were like, wait a minute, that's like Adam Dumb. I'm like, yes, you got it. But okay, so what was the direction? So you were saying you're going in a couple of different directions, but what was what's your main, like, what are you seeing as the? Let's see.
Third time's a charm.
Third time's a charm. Well, how are we doing? Hello, welcome to the Adam Dunn Show.
can I order a large pie and I need let me get a dozen wings too, please.
You got it.
How many bagels?
You want
That's all we really
pepperoni?
need to know right now.
Yeah, bagels.
How many bagels?
All right, thank you. Rotten dog rules.
Rosendog does rule.
That was quick.
That was fire.
See, it does work.
That was
Okay,
a drive
So
by
it works,
I don't
but we
fucking fix
don't
anything.
know because he didn't really answer anything. Like we don't know if we didn't have a real conversation there. It was just like Rosendog, Bob, Hoobida-ha.
Something about some wings and bagels.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, we're working on it right now. The drive-through window. This is our drive-through window. You have to come into the yard and kind of do a little donut on the way out. Are you doing feminized stuff, or are you doing regular kinds?
We'll see which direction it goes. I preferably feminized.
I think preferably to sell feminized. I think preferably to grow regular, just because it's nice to have a whole bunch of regulars, because then you know you got everything in there.
Oh, that's why it's going in multiple directions.
Yeah.
There's this stuff that I truly care about as a collector. Then there's everything that the market's really trending towards, and think about the future of weed and where it's heading. It'd be nice if we could have some input to the gene pool in a modern, world where everybody else is working with CRISPR technology and that kind of shit. And,
Yeah, what do you think about that?
It's definitely a double-edged sword,
Yeah, it's like the thing you'd want to be able to like have fun with, but you don't want anyone else to have it.
Yeah,
Like,
that's the way it's being treated.
You're
right
like,
now, for sure.
it'd be cool if I could get it.
And you can it's actually a very accessible thing,
Right.
If you're willing to learn about it, it's like learning a different language.
Yeah,
But-
I would not have. I know me personally, I would never have the patience to
exactly,
deal with it.
and that's where most of us are. So,
Well, remember when we got those those CBD joints in Vegas the last time we were there, and you looked at it, and it was 0% THC, 18% CBG, and you're
Right.
like, this absolutely came from somebody's CRISPR lab.
Well, the thing is, CBG actually does sort of like when you can create the right pathway to only produce CBG. That's possible. CBD, no, because they work in tandem, and that's why you can only get a certain. That's why there's always a range that you can tell when people are bullshitting, because it's like, no, you're out of it. You're out of the range. Like the range is a fucking fixed thing. Like it doesn't go. Like you can't go this high without bringing that this high, and that's where the game is of the whole like. That's where all the hot seat. game-
MTI.
Hey.
Yes. Can you hear us?
Yeah.
There we go.
We got it working?
We
All
got
right,
it.
I can hear you now.
Yeah.
Is it Rosendogs?
Yeah, I just tested it out. So
No,
yeah.
no, I'm here to talk to Dave about religion and politics.
All right. Well, we gotta go. All right.
Sorry, you're breaking up. Gotta go. Crank caller.
I'm
caller.
just fucking around.
I know.
What's going down? So yeah, you can hear us. We can hear you. This is real working. This is it.
Yeah.
It's officially a call-in show now. We did it.
We're officially calling
All right.
and there's
Show's over. We did it. No.
Are there any bagels around you right now?
Okay. Oh,
No,
bye.
what's happening, my friend? No, what's going on?
what's new? What do you got?
What you got? What you got? What are you doing for 420?
I really
Help
don't
us
have
out with some
anything to say.
content.
This is nobody was calling in, so I thought I would.
That's all right. But what are you doing for 420? What do you got going on? You gonna hang out with us?
He's listening to the show.
I may, but it's our anniversary, so I'm probably going to be hanging out with the wife whenever she's home.
Okay. So it's either us or the wife,
So,
basically, is what you're
Wait,
trying to say.
where is your wife going on your anniversary without you?
That would be work.
Oh, that's your story.
Like
You're
they don't
sticking
let you
with
go.
that?
They don't let you stay home for your anniversary. Come on. What kind of establishment is she working for?
Your wife doesn't listen to Adam on the radio?
You should tell her it's not only is it 420.
I guess
Adam's
the
on.
question would be, when are you all starting on 420?
2:20 p.m.
420?
Mountain Time.
So it's going to be 420 Eastern Standard Time because we want to celebrate with New York since they just got legalized. We want to give them the first sort of crack at it, and then we're going to work our way backwards from there. So, and then we're going to go around the world. It's funny because I keep calling I called all these people in Europe, and I'm like, I need you to be there for me when I'm in the weeds, that nobody's awake where I'm at. There's it's ghost town. Everyone's passing out around me. I got to be able to call people in Europe and people in Asia and make sure the show, and they were like, they still don't quite get it. They're like, so wait a minute, you're gonna be on? I'm like, you're gonna get me when I'm crusty as fuck. I'm gonna be half there, half awake, but we're gonna make it happen. So it should be fun. I used to, as a kid, I used to stay up for 24 hours all the time, like as a 10-year-old or something. I thought that was the coolest thing ever.
You're not a kid anymore, Adam.
Oh, I know, but I'm saying I practiced this all my whole life, bro. This is what I do. This is what I do, and like
your life is for this one moment.
I went to bed. I go to bed around.
Dunn,
I go to bed at 4 o'clock in the
24
morning
hours.
every night. Anyway, that's just my normal time.
We
So
got another call.
Oh, we got a call. We got a call.
Let's merge it.
Merge.
Let's see if it works. I
Pizza
don't know
for
if it
us?
works
It's a
anymore.
party. We're gonna merge party. We may lose
I
you.
would like some pizza.
We may lose you.
Nope, we got someone. Hello, you're on the Adam Dunn Show.
What it do, guys?
What's happening?
Soren, how you guys doing over there?
Good, bro. How are you? Getting ready for 420?
I'm good.
What you smoking?
Medicating, trying to harvest this crop for 420.
Oh, dude, you're pushing it now.
Hurry
I
up.
hope
It's
you're
not
not
gonna be dry.
I hope you're not trying to smoke it on 420, man. That's gonna be rough.
Yeah, it's gonna be rough.
It's a 4-day cure.
What you got to do is you got to look for the broken branches that were in there somewhere. You might find 1 or 2 branches that you're like, cool, this one must have broke last week. I must have fucked that one up early. And then that one will be your one you can smoke pretty much. Yeah? But
yeah, I already found a couple of those. Those are gone.
those are good. Yeah, yep, nice.
But I'm killing it. I'm killing it with the CMH so that I won from you guys. My daughter just wanted me to remind you. Thank you guys again.
Oh, that's awesome. So your
Always
first harvest of the
awesome,
new light. That's great.
The CMH are
Almost, you almost pulled it off for 420. It's close. I mean, you will be able to pretend you're smoking the best weed in the world, but you'll have to wait about another 2 weeks for it to get right.
Are you in Colorado?
No, I'm out here in California.
Oh, hell yeah. Right on. Yeah, you'll be pushing for 420. I was going to say, us Coloradans have to, like, we have to work on not letting our weed dry too fast.
Like, we could dry it in 3 days.
Yeah.
It's not desirable.
We
but
could smoke our weed by 420, but
it's not,
not what we want to do.
Yeah, it's gonna be rough, but nice talking to you guys. Gotta feed these kids. Just wanted to stop by and say hi.
Hey, anytime. And
Thank
then
you so much.
hanging out next week, I hope.
Yeah, definitely. Much love, bud.
Yeah, of course. I'll be around.
Happy 420.
All right, we'll see you then.
All right.
Peace.
Peace.
Are we gonna? How many can we do? Right now, we can do 30. Is that our total on the Zoom thing at the moment?
100.
100.
100. Okay. See, so we could do up. I think you could handle
Wow. Yeah.
12 without going nuts, right? Because that's when it starts getting all
No.
crazy.
I don't care.
You don't.
You can just
All right.
keep them calling in, man. I
The
don't care.
threats are real.
Let's do it.
Keep calling, then we can add up to 100
You
people.
guys going to be eating a bunch of edibles this time too?
Yeah, but I think I'm
I
gonna
got some
since it
VA
was last
Adam
time.
wants us to take some acid.
Well, yeah, of course. I mean, why wouldn't
There you
you?
go.
Why wouldn't you?
I'm gonna
well,
do
no,
some mushroom
I'm
dabs.
thinking like we're just gonna microdose from the 12-hour mark onwards. I think I'm gonna go normal speed all the way with the first 12 hours, and then I think the second 12 hours is just gonna be like I think I'll just need to microdose
Re-up
just
it.
to keep it.
Is your son DJing?
There's DJing. There's all sorts of good
Is your
stuff.
son DJing?
Oh, my son, maybe. Yeah, he could possibly come in and drop us. I don't know. I don't know if I can even get him under contract now. He's already he's way beyond.
Yeah, he's a YouTuber.
He's a YouTuber.
He has a
He's
following.
got his own
For
thing.
real?
Yeah, he's got reaction
He has
videos
tens
to
of
his
followers.
songs and stuff. It's funny.
Oh, what a G.
Yeah,
Good for him.
but
Starting now, he's gonna have tens of thousands soon, and then he'll be like
PDX.
a
So you
mega
can't even
YouTuber.
afford to book your own son for your own party?
no.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I wish. I'm trying to push him in that direction. I'm like, dude, son, you must take it over. You must. You must. But no, he's got some fans now. It's quite funny. Good for him. He's putting out tracks, and then he puts out his little launch pad fucking videos that go with it, and so you can see what he was doing, and yeah, it's kind of funny.
Excellent.
That's so badass.
Wait, I'm sorry to interrupt. Mike, your wings are ready. Mike, your wings are ready.
Wings ready, Mike. Come to the second window. Second window. He's got to go to the drive. Well, did he pay already, or does he have to go to the first
He
one?
did. He used PayPal.
Oh,
or
he used
sent
PayPal.
us that
All
20.
right.
over
So
there.
then he needs to go straight to second window to pick up his wings and his bagels, his extra bagel chips. Did you give him extra bagel chips?
I will. In fact, I'm going to be a bagel making machine, I guess, on early Monday morning.
That's going
try to make
so
like
you're
4
bringing
dozen.
so you're bringing in the goods, I hear.
I'll bring 4 dozen bagels. I'll bring a whole bunch of fucking cookies. Well, I figure we have to bring our own food, right? There's not a fucking restaurant out there.
BYOF. It's
I brought
BYOF.
pastries.
Yeah.
Are we gonna have like a fridge?
No, we're
or
having
something?
food there too, all for us. Don't you worry. There's food. We have
Yeah,
organized.
but you're like a vegan, man. I don't want to eat vegan shit. It doesn't taste good. There's no flavor.
Okay, bring your meat
Oh,
slabs.
you gotta try
There is
slab
some
of meat.
fire vegan places, but
It'll be
I
fine.
don't think I could do that all the
Dave.
time.
I'm gonna bring some farm eggs. We'll have some nice breakfast. Maybe a little
hanging out with
bacon,
Dave.
Adam.
all right.
You're hanging out with Dave?
I'm just kidding.
Oh man, listen to you.
He's got the bagels, dude.
We got the vegan swag. How's that? Come on.
Adam, you're not a vegan. Stop trying to fucking misappropriate the vegan
I'm
title.
the one who
You're a-
says I'm not all the time. You're the
What?
one, you guys are the ones who accuse me of it.
Let's
all the
hear
Wait
time.
a minute.
No, I
Check the
don't.
tape, Mark. Roll the tape back.
No,
Check
that's
it.
all
I'm
you,
not
dude.
sure, man.
No, that's you. For sure.
Did I say that? Yeah, I probably did.
Yeah,
You
you
do.
did.
You always
All
say vegan swag.
Yeah, I can't back that up. Well, because I'm remembering the roast, the Pinsky roast, where instead of Danko actually talking about Pinsky, the roastee, he just roasted you for like 7 minutes,
That was good.
and that was his big thing.
Who do
You're a
we still
vegan.
have on the line? Do we have
You
someone
guys
on
are
the
like
line?
mortal
Yeah.
enemies, right?
Yes, he's ordering wings. I told him they're ready. Come to the window.
No, we got the next guest now, right? Guest. I don't know.
No.
Maybe not. Maybe.
It looks like someone's still on the call, but I don't know.
Is there anybody? I know I've gotten some reach outs. There are some people that are planning on making the pilgrimage to Area 420 from various parts of the country.
They're coming from everywhere.
Yeah.
Down to
And,
Moffat.
and I saw also on the chat, I saw that we are going to get to the bottom of the Aaron Zeman seed debacle. Oh, there he goes.
They're gone.
Oh,
Yes, there, I
he
heard the
hung
noise.
up.
I heard the noise. Ciao, dude.
What's the Aaron Zeman seed debacle?
Yeah, because people who won the seeds during our New Year's show, he did not receive the seeds from Aaron. So Aaron will be in town and we'll be able to pin him down.
Well, let me just
shake
put the
out his
host on the
pockets. We'll do
spot.
the old take his sneakers, pockets, and we'll just fucking send that all to you in a box. He'll be like, here, I hope they're in there.
I believe he's in the chat right now, but restoring SDS quality is still owed some Sage Master seeds from spotting a member of the cast in the wild.
Well, then there
at
we go,
Ozo
too. Let's
Coffee.
take care of that at the same time. All right. So, Dave, get the details. I'll take care of the goods, and then we'll make that happen. So,
all right.
There you go.
Oh, and I'm gonna buy a pack of seeds from Seeds Here Now for a friend of mine. So I want to hear if someone is suggesting seeds. Like he lives in Texas, and it's very hot and humid there. Type it in the chat room. What do I want to send them? And don't just say Sage Master or Done Loud.
No,
Give me some
like the
Blue Dream.
Go for something that's been proven. I mean, like a lot of this
It's
stuff.
got to
that's
be on
being
the
bred
Seeds Here Now catalog.
Right on. I'll check it out and make some recommendations to Adam.
Everything. Well, the good thing is that you pretty much all your buddies are there. You know what I mean? It's like that it's a pretty tight camp as far as like everybody that I would want is in there. There's a few others out there that are satelliting or whatever, but for the most part, I feel like the most. It seems like the most internal vetted crew of breeders when it comes to industry standard stuff, because that's the main thing he tried to do is not cross over as much. He didn't want to have people who are just running the same lines, but they're like your version and my version, and then all of a sudden it gets, which one is it? And that was my drama, not even the drama, I don't give a shit, but it sucks because you never really know. Like there's times when I've had bubble gum that I'm like, which bubble gum is it? Is it the bubblegum you got from TH Seeds, or is it bubblegum you got from Sirius Seeds, or is it bubblegum from Indiana now that we don't know what that cut is, if it's one of the ones from either me or from him or from somewhere else. There's a lot of that. So there's
that strain should be called Spider-Man. Is it Amazing Spider-Man or the New Adventures of Spider-Man or the Dark Spider-Man?
Stupid blue-looking Spider-Man? I mean, come on, which one are you? But no, in general, that was what I liked about James's approach, was that by doing that, and it was really about the males. He understood as a breeder we all just have different males. There's some people who have their own complete fucking thing going on, which is good, because then there's zero crossover, but there's a lot of crossover when it comes to the female strains or the female plants that are out there. So like, and then you get to that, well, which GMO are we talking about? Are we talking about the 8-week GMO, 10-week GMO, 20, like everybody has, then there's the, so we have there's too many nuances when it comes to that. So I think it is nice when you get completely different people doing completely different things. And if there is a crossover, it's very distinct, because it's like the thing crossing with the thing, not which one,
Yep.
What so you were saying you'd rather do feminized more for the ability to have control of the final product, or for
just consumer expectations. Right. It's either people are going to
Elka says it just tried calling. What's going on?
What do you mean?
I don't know. I see just tried calling. That usually means just
on the phone.
That was a while back.
That was a while. Oh, okay.
Is that what's going on? You're not seeing?
Oh, I'm not seeing it. Oh, we're on Lageronius Maximus over here. So there you go.
Lageronius
Maximus. Yes, exactly.
Lageronius Nexus Maximus.
Nice.
Did that scroll all the way down?
Yeah, yeah. It's got shitty with a D now. You're shitty with a D.
Oh, so we're not
double D. Shitty Jamie. Shamey Jitty does. Shamey Jitty. Shamey Jitty.
Shitty.
Shamey Jitty.
Okay.
All right.
Most of the commercial growers out there they're not really trying to spend the time looking through a line with males.
Mm-hmm.
That's why most of the preference has been for feminized.
Now, do you think most people are growing and then selecting from there and then growing those out, or do you think more people are just throwing down feminized seeds right out of the gate and just doing that each round?
I think a lot of people are just throwing down feminized seeds without the experience to know that they should be taking cuts. At least, like, it's really on scale, you know, like somebody on Drew's level or like Ryan who's on
Like way down low, you mean? Like way down low?
Yeah, well, when you're popping, no, not necessarily. When you're not running a 20-acre outdoor and expecting to get consistency out of tens of thousands of seeds, you know, that's one type of customer. Then you've got everybody who's on a connoisseur level who are going to expect males, hope for males, like, you know, looking for that trophy because, like you said, you find a good.
It's funny
male
how everyone's
and-
on the different tip, right? Like we're like, dude, a male, fucking yeah.
Small population.
You know what I mean?
It
And
took
everybody
like
else
8
is like,
years of
what,
popping
a
seeds to
male?
find a male I liked.
Yeah.
It takes a long time to find something that's like, what the fuck? Like, you're different.
Yeah,
and
for sure, and it's very hard to let them go long enough to get to that point to even know if they get to, because there's stuff that's like similar as like we were saying about GMO. Like GMO takes like doesn't even kick in until week 8. You know what I mean? Like all of a sudden, then it's stacking like a motherfucker, and then you get those gigantic plants, which some people, because of the way they pre-selected their idea, oh, we're going to do this room is going to be 8 weeks, and then you're like, yeah, but that's not how it works. Like you know, like unless you
It's
know,
tough on scale
like
like
if
that.
you're doing
It's-
clones, you can do that, but seeds, it's impossible. Like you could say 8-ish, you know, maybe 9.
8-ish, yeah.
And then you're going to get that one that's like, if you didn't let it go another week, you'll never know how awesome it would have been. And if you go in and mow them all down, and you know, it's like.
And then we've gotten so far away from a stable genome at this point, doing all these hybridized, feminized in-crosses that we're to a point now where we have that kind of stratification where it's not necessarily through a pack of seeds, it's through a specific genetic. Like I dig GMO, I really like growing it, I like smoking it, but it's one of those strains, like, and it's the same with Gorilla Glue. Like those are both like reversed feminized plants that came up out of pretty heavily inbred lines that aren't necessarily stable, like on the lineage side of things. So when you're looking at a plant like that, you know, you've got a lot of stratification in the way that it actually grows. Like I've grown Gorilla Glue 3 different ways and had 3 different results. Same with GMO.
Hated it every time.
Yeah, it's like it fell short. Like it was great weed at the end of the day every single time, but like every single time it was just like, damn, like that was weird. I was expecting something else and got like, I've grown it to the point where like it doesn't stretch, just stacks nugs all the way down to like the main branch. And I've had it grow like so lanky and like out there that you can't control it at all.
And do you think was it from different techniques or was it from just so you totally different, like was it what, hydro and one soil, or was it?
Yeah.
So
the difference between like DWC buckets versus Coco versus Rockwool, pretty much.
Right. And so the leggiest ones would be in the DWC or the watery ones?
They were in the Rockwool.
Yeah.
Yeah, the DWC ones were actually chunky and stout, and the Coco ones, I think it's just because I had a really good hand water on it. That was my favorite crop.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I think DWC
hand water gang, baby.
I mean, hand watering cocoa is that's like a recipe for disaster though if you have the wrong person.
For sure. But it's the Colorado standard. You know, you go with a good 70-30 mix, 4 plants per light. You can't really go wrong with that. You can take your clones off the plants when you flip them, let them veg for 6 or 8 weeks, put them back into the flower room. It's a really copy paste kind of situation.
I mean, that's the good thing with cocoa is it is great for having teams of people that can all do the same thing and replicate the same thing over and over again. Soil is definitely better when you have like
very touchy.
Like you got to have tight team and really. Luckily, you don't have to do as much at a certain point. Like you have to do a lot of work and then you got to not do a lot of work, but you got to really know just not to let it go out of whack.
You're either putting all your eggs in a basket or you're perpetually paying attention to it and nurturing.
Well,
it.
it's like I get jealous of people. Sometimes I get jealous of people who don't try hard and just grow with 3-part, because it is kind of like, if you don't care, it's way easier. Like it's like 100 times easier than having to like at least, you know, well maybe, you know, you could be fucking it up, but at least put your own twist on things, because there's no like book written saying you have to do this. Whereas you kind of have to with cocoa. Like if you're not using a buffer, you're fucked up. You know, you're gonna. But why is everything going like weird? Obviously, like, did you put it? What kind of? Oh, you don't have any buffers in this thing. This thing's not. Like, that's your first lesson, right? And then like, oh, okay, so you have to use that with this, and then everything works great. But then you're also like, kind of stuck in a lane. You know what I mean? You're not like. Don't go too far.
Coco's one directional. There's a trade-off.
Don't go thinking you're gonna go like you can build a little bit of like rhizosphere activity, and you can like get some living products in there and make it kind of like feel organic. But at the end of the day, if you're not watering them enough, then they're not going to thrive. You know, they need.
Coco's that perfect 50-50, and to like touch on like rhizosphere development and stuff, it's actually really cool, some of the stuff that's been coming out, figuring out what actually thrives in what different soils. You know, the more acidic your environment, the more fungus is going to grow in it more aggressively. Like something that's more basic is going to encourage algae growth, and they're both going to work against each other to become more acidic or basic.
Yeah.
So I think that you know, when you look at like the guys who make Rockwool, they actually make bioreactors for other different kinds of, you know, microbial activity in laboratories. So it will, like, those inert mediums will actually culture all sorts of different stuff. There's no such thing as true inert. A lot of the microbes that are made for agriculture actually develop to thrive in a high EC environment because of the amount of abuse that most of our farmland goes through. You know, most of these bacillus cultures wouldn't be viable if they didn't survive like heavy amounts of ammonium nitrate at the beginning of the season. Yeah, and we're getting the hand-me-downs in the weed industry. Unless it's somebody who's making it independently and doing their own bioactive ferments, which is bad fucking ass for doing that. Like, push it, because that's the future for sure in standardized agriculture. But yeah, it's there's really interesting trade-offs to it, and I'm not sure if Coco's the answer. You know, like I don't think it's really.
Well, there's also
a
problem of
means.
sourcing good cocoa. Yeah, because if you actually get into that game, when you get into that world, and you realize, like, you know, it comes from. It all mostly comes from Thailand, and it comes from places that you really like. It's not like you can trust every document that comes out of this spot, and they're going to say, "Oh yeah, it's from inland, and it's like it's got no salt, and we've washed it X amount of times." And then you get, you know, if you sent somebody feet on the ground, you may find out like it's actually coming from like right off the beach. Like, you know what I mean? It's like, who knows? Because they don't. I mean, Holland produces or imports so much cocoa, it's ridiculous. like there's points where you're just like, how do they even like? How can there be so much? But it's, of course, luckily that
there's a ton, and it's been sitting around for a long time.
Luckily, there is enough growing, but the problem is very little of it is usable for the industry because of the locations and the contaminants that are in it. And so, you know, I my biggest, like, I used to love cocoa when I first was growing with it because I felt like I was working with soil, but I wasn't, because I had been working strictly in Rockwool, because when I first went to Holland, that's all I wanted to do is grow hydro. I didn't want to grow anything in soil. I thought, soil, that's so stupid. Why would you do that? Like, let's just, you know, I wanted to go. I was like deep into doing that. And then I realized slowly over time, like, and then I started doing my mom's on soil because I had lost so many with power, like just like fucked up, didn't plug it in, like, another one, you know, like
get some consistency out of
the dumb and no, mostly because I had to move a lot of times because it's so like sketchy there. And so I had to move moms that were in, you know, then I learned my lesson, like, never keep your moms on hydro because you can never move them. You can do all your production on hydro because you can cut it out and run or whatever, but you're definitely, when it comes to like moms, it's a lot better to have a 1 gallon pot with a little sickly plant than it is to have a beautiful hydro plant, because that beautiful hydro plant is probably going to look like shit by the time you get it to wherever you get it, because it's not made to travel, and you're like, you know, picking up like a DWC full of water, and you can't take the water out, because if you take the water out, it's going to dry up the roots, so you can like put the bag around the roots and get in there, and, you know, you're doing some damage, but at least you're keeping them there, and then you don't have to carry all the water. And I mean, I got to where I got to, and I tried to get it back, and it was like broken, beat up, you know, then you have to take cuts off of that to then use those. And just like, it's like, there's nowadays people don't think like that because they're growing in maybe, you know, they got a legal facility. Hopefully they're never going to have to run from it. But back in the day, that was part of the deal, was you got to be able to run with everything you got in boxes in the back of a truck and through the middle of the night. You know what I mean?
It's a different world for sure. But yeah, the soil, it has its place. It's, you think about the medium as an externalized stomach.
Ooh, listen to you.
I think so too. Yeah, I think if you're going to grow weed inside, you're going to burn that much fossil fuel. That was the argument I was going to get back to with cocoa. Is like, you think about what you said, it has to be washed, buffered, transported. Like, all of those things are so incredibly intensive on resources that like are being claimed as being finite. You know. Like, we're running out of water, so why do we want to use something that's used such an insane amount of water when you've got something like Rockwool, which is literally like a mining byproduct. It's like slag that they're able to like superheat.
Yeah, it's basalt rock, basically.
Exactly.
Right?
So like it's something that like it might
It's
last
cotton candy.
forever.
It's actually cotton candy of basalt rock.
Yeah,
That's how I
so
tried to
good.
explain it. Because I was watching him make it when I went to the factory one time, and I was like, oh, now I get it. I see what's
It's
going on
super
here. It's just
trippy,
like
yeah.
it's heated up, and then they kind of drop it onto these spinning discs, which then throw it off. I'm like, that's basically cotton candy, right?
So like
And
the
then
amount of product that it takes, the amount of physical rock. Like we're
Yeah.
talking about rock, we're talking about earth. We're not talking about something that grew out of the earth and used nutrients and carbon and water to like become what it is.
Right.
We're talking about something that's been around for millions of years.
Right.
That
Plus,
you
it
would-
expands like ridiculous.
It expands like 100 times. It's
Yeah.
crazy how
Yeah.
much like.
But the biggest
ton of
problem-
basalt makes like so much rockwool that you can't like it's over.
No-till living Rockwool.
The biggest problem is the fact that these are crops that are like 9 weeks long, and then we throw it all away, and then when you see
There's
that
a bunch of places recycling Rockwool now.
there is, and then Holland they would use it for the roads. That's what they would do. They would mix it back into the asphalt, and then it would like deaden the sound on the roads, and it kind of. But then you start thinking about it like, well, wait a minute. So then the cars are driving over it, and little bits are flying up. That doesn't sound good either. Like nothing about it. Like that's the problem. You have this thing that you can't. We're not gonna unless fucking like. You know, Elon wants to take it to the Mars or something. Like, you take all the Rockwool and you can build shit up in Mars with it, bro. It'll be great.
Well,
it'll be a little wet. It might cost
anytime you have
$10,000
something that's
per
sitting
slab to
around.
get it up there, but it'll be worth it.
As long as we can harvest asteroids, we can start taking stuff away too.
Perlite asteroids. We need more perlite because we're running out of that too. That's the other one that's people don't think about too much. But there's only like a couple sources for that to get in the, and we're definitely tapping them pretty hard.
A lot of the specific, I mean, even sand for construction. Like we're running out of sand to make concrete out of. Like, what
I know,
do we
isn't
do?
that nuts?
So there's a
Well, they had that
everywhere
when-
I see like a pile of Rockwool or garbage or anything. Like that's a resource that we haven't tapped yet. That's that's something that we've treated irresponsibly. That's built up the same way that seagulls didn't use their poop and we turned it into guano. You
Right.
know.
What's that crap that I can't remember the name of the corporate. I can't remember the company name, but that medium that looks like the inside of a couch. Like that stuff is like
the polyfill.
It looks like it, but it's not. But it's the stuff they use for growing. It's like from Mepito. There you go. That's it. That shit's just the weirdest stuff. Like that was like the poor man's rock. It's like the poor man's Rockwool, right? When I was in Holland, people would be like, "I got this," and I'd be like looking at it like, well, it doesn't seem right. Like the way that the wicking on it, and it's something about it is weird. I don't know. You ever used it?
No, that's like we were just talking about that. That's how that's the conversation that got me into knowing certain people in the industry.
Well, the Mepito,
All looking for it.
The thing I saw because the one time I saw the I'd say the biggest yield on the least amount of plants in the most like tight. It was like 4 plants in a Mepito bed that this guy was like hand watering, and it was weird because the top was always dry. You couldn't
You just put little clones in them.
and he just threw 4 plants in, one in each corner. He had 10 600 watts. So he had 6,000 watts over 4 plants in a giant bed with Mepito, and they killed it. They got like, I think it was like 10 kilos. So it's 22 pounds or something like that, or something nuts, some like really big yield where you're just like 22 pounds off of 10 600s. That's pretty fucking good. You know what I mean? That's like double what you should get when you get a good yield. You know what I mean? And it was also, it was a seed run too. So it was kind of hard to judge because seeds are,
Was it like the brittle foam?
It's not brittle. It's like spun. It looks
like kind of like Rockwool that's covered in nutrients.
Did it leave shit on your fingers?
There's things in there. There's like strands of bullshit in there.
It's just a bunch
weird.
of shit that held nutrients.
It's really weird
the
because
reason I found it was
not consistent
video on YouTube.
There's nothing consistent about it either. Like
No, not at all.
It's like random colors and random things.
All this stuff online. There was like this forum of this certain group of people who were growing a very specific plant. I can't remember. But then there was this one guy who was growing pot in it, and he posted videos on YouTube, and they were the biggest nugs I've ever seen. Like, I've never seen actually any in person. I've just seen these online of this one dude using that, and I was like, that stuff obviously is working. But when you called around to try and get it, it seemed like it was like a no-go for pretty much everyone. Like, you call a shop and they'd be like, I don't know what you're talking about here.
Yeah, the mojitos. It was
The what,
weird.
what?
It was weird stuff, and this guy swore by it, and I definitely saw big, humongous yields, like I said, but they were definitely big and fluffy and strange. So it wasn't like a desirable looking structure from it. So yeah, I think hydro it's great as a learning thing, but at the end of the day, what I didn't like was that I felt like I was working on the system all the time, and I wasn't working on the plants enough. That's where I got kind of like, oh, a fucking dripper didn't go, and that's why. It was always like anything that was a problem was technical, and it was always coming down to like cleaning your filters, fucking checking your lines, and it was like these little stupid things that were like the first run, great, second run, okay, but there was issues. Third run, complete disaster because you didn't clean X, Y, or Z. You know what I mean? There was always like huge learning curves that were expensive. And at the end of the day, I was like, but when I moved back here, because in Holland, I never really did, I only did my mom's on soil because I knew that I had to, like I said, I still did all my production on hydro because that was the most cheap, smart way to do it there, because that's what you do. But when I came back here, that was one of the first things I was like really excited, like I'm going to grow in soil, and I'm going to just take all the old soil and fill up beds outside and grow vegetables. You know what I mean? It was like for me, it was the perfect combination because, you get to use every little drop of whatever you invested your money into. So I was saying earlier about the difference in price. I think if people take the time to grow organically, and I know it might be counterintuitive to grow indoors soil, but at the end of the day, if you're consuming or you're giving it to your patients, let's say if you're medical, or if you're giving it to your customers, if you're recreational, it still feels better. You know what I mean? There's still a better feeling. And I just did a whole round of tomatoes indoors, which I've never done. I always try to do them outdoors. They always get blight or bottom blight or fucking this or that, or there's some drama, or animals eat them, or I never get a good crop.
Yep.
So this year I was like, fuck it, I'm just going to do some tomatoes indoors. And I just filled all the beds, and they got out of control, and I didn't know what I was doing. And I was like a total newbie back. I was watching YouTube videos going like, oh.
Have you seen those videos where they have like the single tomato plant and it goes like 20 feet out from the...
And now I'm going to redo my thing next round and get smarter, because I was like, oh, I could have done... I have enough growth to have done all that, but I just wasn't taming it properly or learning. And I was like, oh, those are suckers. I get it now. Like I thought those were I thought I was pulling the things. I was pulling all the leaves off, thinking I'm pulling the suckers off.
Yeah, it's a little thing
and then I was like, oh, it's in the thing and the thing. And then I was like running down there. And then my eyes opened. But it was funny though, because it was like, I liked it because I was learning something totally new, and I was 100% not. Because the problem with doing something too long is it's hard to absorb new information, because you have a feeling that you're doing it right yourself somehow, and
it's the hardest thing.
And now I'm like,
gotta pretend like you know nothing.
Exactly. And so I'm like, this time, because a lot of times I'll watch things and I'll be like, yeah, I know that, and you don't give it enough time. It doesn't give you the aha moment.
And you're probably missing things because you're saying yes.
I do it better than that guy anyway. But then you watch these. And I was watching these other guys, and I was like, okay, now I'm making sense, and everything improved. Because it was already going down the wrong path. Like I was already fucking up, not feeding them correctly, and I was like, okay, now I understand. And I think with cannabis, it's a way bigger curve, because there's no definitive. We can't say what's determinate, what's indeterminate. We can say that one does.
That's all still in development, very much. Yeah.
We're almost there. We're getting there. Like there's some things where you can go like, that is definitely a LED plant, because that plant loves to stay nice and low. It thickens up. It can deal with the high UV. It can deal with all the right things. And then you get another plant, you put it in there. It does not like it at all. It goes right because it wants to there's stuff that's, I think, going to become more specific for different regimens, for different lighting and different food.
And so your commercial industry is probably going to move to a specific subset of genetics that work for it. And then, like, the question, it's always going to feel better to hand patients in a completely organic grown product, but then you have to argue that what at scale fixing those issues with your automated systems and whatnot.
Well, I'm more like, I come from I want to be able to reach into my own jar at my own place and not be like ever like, "Well, I don't know, you know, like I'd rather just be like I feel like if you deliver, it's like kind of like food. If you deliver food that you like, if you're making food for the people but you wouldn't eat it yourself, that would probably not be as good in the long run, just because there's no like, you're not like, oh, I wouldn't eat this, or you're like really. And same with growing, same with the weed. If it's like something that you wouldn't reach off the shelf and smoke it yourself, then what's the fucking point of putting it out there?
Isn't this a perfect segue into how you feed your plants with
shit.
like
New
Millennium nutrients?
There you go. You ever use New Millennium?
Absolutely.
There we go. Now we got some. Bam. Easy ad. He's gonna go. And it ruined my entire garden. It killed everything.
It didn't. It's always been. I like the.
I'm just kidding.
The winter frost.
Have you used it recently, or did you use it before in the beginning? Because it has changed.
I have not used it since 2018.
Okay, because the thing is, it's always, as you know, because those guys are constantly trying to up their game, and you saw how the formula is sort of like, I'm sure that if you were in 2018, you were definitely at the exact moment where they were calling you and going, all right, now we're doing this, you know what I mean? And you're like, wait a minute, but before you were doing that. And it's like, nope, we're doing this now, because I think that was one of the things I liked about it, though, because I'd rather it not be like it's 1 to 2 to 1 and that's it, and there's no more. These guys were like constantly bringing in other products too from other companies and testing them alongside with that, because I think that's the other problem with growers is if you're got your own little thing going on, it's hard to let go of certain things, because some things just are your little silver bullet here and there that like shit looks bad, and you just have your one product that and it may be not even the most greatest product in the world, who knows, but it works fucking fire, and it keeps everything, puts your shit back in check. And so I like that their stuff is compatible, you know what I mean? That's. What's your go-to product? You got one, I know.
Go-to product?
Not from them, in general, just in the whole world. Is there something that you have that you're allowed to tell? You want to tell us that you don't want to like give up the secret?
I don't know.
Other than Eagle 20, I know Eagle 20 is Eagle 20 is your number one go-to, right? But
my go-to product across the board is definitely the product that this guy supplies me with, and that's just the base that it's front row.
Oh, nice.
But I mean, for now,
but no, these guys
I don't have any
New
like
Millennium
secret...
and New Millennium, 100%, no problem working with that. So you take that front.
That's what I was gonna say is like additives.
Take that front row and then use all the products that you.
That's my favorite thing is mixing things up.
Full in the winter frost.
I was gonna say Ruby Full, and I honestly saw some crazy stuff with the Decision when we were first using it. So
Decision is good for snapping shit back out of weird things. That's what I like about it. Like, and the Ruby also same thing. Like the Ruby, when in doubt, you just give them that. And they're like, oh, hey, thanks. That was really good.
You can't go wrong with a fulvic acid, especially when it's got quality micros added to it.
Yeah, and
good
that's
shit.
So I think that's one of the deals with New Millennium that people got to understand is you can take the whole line, or you can take parts of it, and that's what makes it unique. Well, not even unique, because there's other brands that do that. But the part is that those things like and also the Winter Frost is a great one-off thing, because if you've got something that you've been doing it, you know exactly what it does. Then you try the Winter Frost, you go, oh shit, that actually definitely did something. Like, and then you only have to use it 2 times, so it's not like you have to go and change your big regimen. It's just like bang it 2 times, all of a sudden you see a difference, and then you can also comparatively, see especially if you got your numbers dialed in, you're like, every time we do 16 to 20 in this room every single time, and then you got 22. Well, that's going to be a definite improvement compared to like trying something. The worst part is that when you try new shit every time, then you never know if you got something new. You don't even know if it worked or not. You know what I mean? Because you're
right.
You got
some of the best recipes are those like figuring out what the best products from those companies are, and then putting them in with whatever you've already gotten comfortable with in your growing environment. You add those really good products that they provide, and it takes you up a notch.
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir. So newmillenniumnutrients.com.
Newmillenniumnutrients.com. I'm sitting here going, why the hell am I so fucking high right now?
What'd you eat? What'd you eat?
It was this thing.
Holy shit. Oh, the Nove
chocolate. It's only 100 milligrams, but it hit like 250. It's really fucking good.
Getting old.
man.
Getting old. Dave's getting old.
Yeah, he is.
He's getting hit double dosed. He's getting 2.5 times the double dosed on milligrams now.
I mean, I used to say that Incredibles were
Speaking
the best
of
chocolate
which.
bars, but this one, same makers of Incredibles.
Luckily,
they
it's the
make
same
Nove
people, so
chocolate.
you're not insulting them in their own ad.
It is
But
the
these
same
guys.
one,
Yeah, exactly.
but here, let me put this up too. If you're interested in going to, it looks like they're doing a launch party. There's an open bar from 5 to 6:30 on May 19th. You have to RSVP by the 30th. So go to the Nove Chocolates website and register, and you can go meet
What was
some of
this one?
the incredible staff. But I love their gummies. So if you are in Colorado Springs, or I should say, go to TruePura.com and enter Dunn Deal at checkout. You're going to get 20% off your order. They make some serious CBD products. This, you see that one right there? The 3,000 milligram waffles and what was it like? Waffles
Chicken and waffles
bacon
tincture.
flavor.
Chicken and waffles tincture.
It's right here.
Holy moly. That's a weird
So
one.
you got to listen. 20% off. That's a great done deal. So go to TruePura.
We were talking about savory earlier. I didn't realize we were going straight to chicken and
go.
waffles all of a sudden. Jesus.
It's a vegan flavoring. Ooh.
What?
Yeah.
Vegan flavored chicken,
Chicken
and
and
waffles.
waffles.
That is not making
That's
any
what it
sense.
says.
That is scientific.
Wait, that can't be.
What?
That's what it says.
Come on.
It's vegan chicken.
Natural vegan
It's like a
flavorings.
tofurkey.
So it's going to not taste like chicken at all.
But you guys were talking about organic growing and the difficulty. Well, Green Farms Med has been using the same no-till soil for 4 years. It
Actually, I was going to bring some buds, but I ended up leaving him with CC. But he stopped by the other day. He stopped by right after the day, like it was the day after, but it was when I was really fucked. Like I could barely walk. And he goes, "What happened to you? You look like you're 104 years old." I was like all bent over, and I was like, "Ah!"
tried to catch a couch one-handed.
Exactly. And but he dropped off some of the tincture for us also. So I just went glog glog glog. It's funny. He did the classic. Did like 4 squirts.
And then
took a bath. Took a bath, and then classically, I got so hungry that I was like, oh my god! I just was like, and then I was like in the middle of eating. I was like, oh yeah, this is the total stoner like moment right here where you're just like kind of forgot again. I did the classic and kind of forgot why I was so hungry, and I was like, maybe it was the 4 squirts of the 2,500 milligram fucking.
That might have been it.
Oh yeah, that shit's.
That might have been it.
Amazing.
But the flour it gets better and better and better every harvest. And if you ask for the done deal, they really do take care of you down there.
And they do their own ferments, and they do their it's perfect, man. It's like and it's not a big operation, and that's why they can do that. That's the hard part is when you get to a certain phase, it's kind of hard to do scale organic and keep everything in check. But
it's a tough game.
They got it on lock. It's definitely killing it, and you get the done deal there. So check them out, and you can actually get Incredibles there. So you can get the incredible done deal. That would be
incredible done deal. It's like a double done deal.
It's a double done. It's a double done.
But
deal.
he gets all of his soil products from Build a Soil.
What
they stayed open as an essential service throughout the entire pandemic. They run a fantastic company. If you order more than $500 worth of soil, and you'll get free shipping in Colorado and New Mexico. Everybody I have talked to that has known Jeremy over the years, they don't use anyone else. I mean, that normally when you're in business, you want to have multiple sources for your important products. They trust Jeremy that he's going to be there and be able to deliver, and I think you can too. So you got to give Build a Soil a call at 855-877-SOIL.
I did see Jeremy reaching out to the world though, because he was running out of worm castings. So it's that time of year. You gotta get your supplies in now, because if you don't want to be caught out without the right things, like, oh no.
Oh boy.
Worms can't shit any faster, It's like, come on, squeeze them. Squeeze them. Speaking of which, can we just skip right over?
Oh, if you want to.
I just did a segue without even knowing it. Just say the word. Say the word. Squeezing worms. Well, we don't squeeze worms. We squeeze fish. Give them a nice squeeze. You ever use that product? That is good.
They're good guys.
That's the thing that you open it up and you go like, as a grower, you're like, yeah. And anybody else in the room, fish it. Anybody else in the room is like, that is foul as
That's
fuck.
fish it.
You're like, hell yeah, it's foul. Foul in a good way, but no, if
somebody cleaning out your septic tank,
photosynthesis is very similar in the sense it's like, but it's got more of a sulfury funk to it. This has got the true fish shit vibe going, and you can also get 25% off by ordering direct from them and saying the Dunn deal. You need that Dunn deal.
It's our biggest Dunn deal.
25% killer. So I just got a 20-liter thing delivered the other day, and I was like, I'm glad I got it when I got it too, because freezing is not as bad as heating up, I guess. Heating up's worse. You don't want to get it.
Don't heat up your fish shit.
Don't warm it up in the microwave. It's not going to activate anything. It's not a good idea. Ooh, that'd be a good one to do as you leave the grow. You're like, I'm out. You're cool, you suck, fuck you. And then you pour a bunch of fish in and then put it in the microwave for 20 minutes and you walk out the door and you go like, everyone would be like, what is going on in here? Just giving you guys
explosive scene.
I'm just giving you guys an idea. Whoever does it, videotape it, please.
But we are giving away a 5 liter of fish shit if you send us your depiction of Mark.
That is, it's $500
in a diaper as a fish, and you'll win 5 liters. It's $500 worth.
Killer. Bring up the picture. Bring up the picture.
No need to do that. It's no need to do that. You can't do
it.
I thought we'd get away.
No.
But
The computer's broken.
Jamie will make everything happen.
Make everything happen. See, that's all you have to do.
Geez.
There's a picture of Dave as a fish with wearing a diaper, right? And that got him $500.
I was just trying to visualize 5 liters of fish shit.
That's it right there.
That's all you need to do is draw a picture.
That looks like Latsu.
Well, while you're drawing that photo of Adam as a fish in a diaper, you might want to drink a nice cup of coffee from Ozo. Mark, you should just leave the page up on that Rafisi dry process, because that is a whole new level of amazing Ozo coffee. So you go to ozocoffee.com, enter Dunn deal at checkout. You're going to get 20% off your order. They ship everywhere in the lower 48. Rosendogs is getting it as a subscription.
Is that a Colorado company?
Yeah, Boulder. Mom was stressing me out on the way here. She's like, "Are you getting coffee today?" And
I got some.
I was like, "Yeah, but I don't think we're gonna be able to get up there."
Could we get some on our way out, like some bags of this shit? We get some.
I wish you could.
Come on, man.
Go to ozocoffee.com.
I was walking out with a big old pitcher of coffee. Oops.
Oh, we don't do really green room guests for our guests. Like if you were on a show with a really big production budget,
you would have already
had
a
everything. Green room. You'd have a fluffer.
Yeah.
You wouldn't have to roll your own joints. We'd have somebody do that for you. You'd leave with an iPod.
Yeah, we'd have it with us. I appreciate it.
You'd have Ozo.
Drew would have been able to talk. Drew could have talked on the show instead of just sitting there. You'd have been like,
right.
What show? I wasn't on a show. I wasn't on no show. That's not a show.
I'm gonna need some of this coffee on the second half of the 12 hours there.
Yeah.
Oh, are we getting sponsored for them hard for that show? I mean, we need to be pounding them for the first 12 hours. First 12 hours is going to be nothing but Ozo. Second 12 hours will be nothing but tea.
I would have
make it through with your natural energy.
I'm switching. Yeah, I'm going to switch from caffeine to psychedelics. That's going to be.
There you go. Yeah,
that'll be
going to go well.
That should go well.
Do you know? You remember, Adam, what I asked you for?
What's that?
And you were supposed to do your thing. No, your thing with, a razor blade and a mother plant and cuts, and it would be much easier.
Oh no, I'm ready. I told you they're ready to go. I just couldn't bring them today because I didn't know that they were going to go anywhere.
Let's get that taken care of.
I'm ready.
But Ozo Coffee is. I just think Justin and Rebecca run a great company. You can tell by the smiles on their faces of their employees. And one of them even helped SDS win a free pack of seeds that you're going to send them because he caught a photo of me having a macchiato.
I got it.
But go to ozocoffee.com, enter Dunn deal at checkout. And listen, go to Barcelona when you can. As soon as our passport isn't shit anymore, and you can go to Barcelona. You want to go to Tresor. In fact, just get in the cab, say, take me to Tresor, and tell them that you know Adam personally, and you want that €30 fee to be waived, if possible.
Free joints.
A big free joint and some hash.
Exactly.
Can't guarantee the joint and the hash.
And a coffee. Won't be Ozo. It won't be Ozo, but it'll be good.
No, it won't.
It'll be Italiano.
But just go to Tresor. They're great people. Or Tresor. They're open till 11 tonight. or just about to close. But if you come back from
Well, they're
from
not
Barcelona,
open now. If it's 7 here, they're closed as motherfuckers.
Yeah, they're closed.
Don't go there now. You will not get into their place.
Mark, show that some of what's been coming out of apothecary extracts is just beyond magic right now. They have dialed in
Brent
their
kills it.
BHO process.
Nailed it. Nailed
They
it.
just
He's
nailing it.
He's one of those amazing humans too.
He's an artist. I mean, he's like a hash artist. It is so flavorful. And this is what you guys will yell at me all you want, but listen, I've smoked a lot of BHO. And the smell on the nose doesn't always translate through the smoke. That is not the case with apothecary extract. It tastes like it smells. It is fantastic. I think when I got the grape Julius, like I guess it's an orange Julius cross, and my whole mouth is just grapes. I mean, it was fantastic. So Brent, thank you so much for supporting the show. And listen, they have 3 locations in Colorado, but they're all over Oklahoma right now. And so you should go to their Instagram page, Apothecary Extracts Oklahoma, and you will see. I mean, they're blown up. I wouldn't even doubt that a year from now, all extracts will be apothecary extracts in Oklahoma.
Listen to you.
Oh,
Blow it up,
geez.
guys.
Oh wow.
Hello.
They won the franchise wars.
Nostradamus.
Well,
right?
them and
No,
Papa
I like
Select.
Do you like that, Nostradamus?
Papa Select isn't okay? Isn't Oklahoma?
They're
no,
not in
never mind.
Oklahoma. Papa Select.
Sorry, I misunderstood
I
what you
spoke
said.
with Boris.
What do you say?
He was going to try to get us some concentrate for 420, but
that sounds like it's not
it doesn't look like it. We'll probably
I
have
don't-
it
I
for
don't see that happening.
All right.
the next show after 420 that we do. So we're not going to do one that Friday. We'll do a best of, but after that, we should have some. Listen, they just won, I believe, every competition at the Emerald Cup.
Did they?
He was just like so excited. He's
did
like,
anybody-
we won this.
did anybody,
we won this. We won this.
Did anybody go online and during that thing?
I didn't.
You did?
I did not.
You did not.
During
It was
what?
free. It was free, dude. You should have been there.
Yeah.
I would imagine you've been first in line. It's free.
Oh, damn. Is that a bagel joke?
That is. It's basically a bagel joke without.
That's
without-
bagelist.
Like without.
Don't be a bagelist.
Without a bagel included.
Yeah.
That is bagelist.
It's
I
very
told you what
bagelist.
I did last week, and I'm saving it because I want to bring it down to 420. But before the show last week, I was just snacking on
nuts?
the peanut butter, and I ate half of the jar.
Numbnuts. You had that yet?
Have you guys tried this?
Haven't tried that one.
This
yet.
is the shit.
1,000 milligram
Okay.
peanut butter.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds fun.
It is. It's unbelievable.
It will make you
unbelievable.
Watch out though, because you'll get like me and be all touchy when people touch your peanut butter. You're like, the fucking touch peanut butter.
No, I don't. I keep the peanut butter
It's
separate.
weird.
I don't
Did you
even.
get that too? You don't want anyone. Don't.
That's right.
No,
You don't want
don't touch my peanut butter.
because everybody fucks up peanut butter. They always get.
Well,
There's always
They have
bits.
two lines.
in my
too.
world,
Jelly in my peanut butter. you
1,000
bitch.
milligrams is too much.
Oh,
for
I
that.
came up with the greatest idea, and then it was so funny because I told it to Cece, and she was so not impressed that I was like, I just thought I figured it out. I came up with the greatest analogy because that's what we do around here. It's all we do. I was like, hey,
We figure out problems for everybody else to make money.
We have THC peanut butter, so now we need CBD jelly, and we put it together, and we explain to the children, this is what you need: peanut butter and you need jelly,
jelly.
to complete the.
Oh.
Now, to get separate, they're just one
like it.
thing, but
like it.
together, it's a magical thing, right?
like it.
Because Europeans don't
I
get
like
it.
that.
They think we're just like all just
nuts.
5-year-olds. We're like 5-year-old eating fluffernutters or something.
Yeah, yeah,
Did you get into fluffernutters when you were back in
fuck
East?
with fluffernutters.
You did?
I always did.
What are
growing
those, the
up,
marshmallow
I always
and peanut butter?
Yeah,
Marshmallow
for sure.
peanut. Oh.
So good.
See?
They're so rich.
Why is there
though,
no
dude.
Fluffernutter strain?
It's
Who doesn't
crazy.
have a Fluffernutter? Oh, I do right now. Fluffernutter, THCs,
TM.
right now, today, done.
TM.
Don't anybody steal my Fluffernutter, buddy.
heard it here
Isn't that
first.
part of the ad? Don't steal my Fluffernutter, or that was part of
Possibly.
that was Ego. I know it's Ego, but
Possibly.
I think Fluffernutter may have jumped onto that game of like stab.
I was
I'll
always about the
stab
Nutter
you.
butter.
It should be like I'll stab you in the heart if you touch my Fluffernutter. That would be the East Coast kind
Yeah,
of.
that's that'll definitely be their marketing campaign for 2021. Touch my fluffernutter, I will stab you in the heart.
Or the
Hey,
throat.
wait, did you know
in
what
the
I
throat
did
sounds
yesterday?
better.
What'd
no,
you
in the
do?
throat. Stab you in the throat. That's
I
way
took
more
Ed Rosenthal on a
graphic.
tour.
Hold
In the
on a
heart
second.
sounds
Adam's
dramatic.
talking.
What?
Oh, we were trying
Always-
to do ads,
always
and
talk-
you're just.
Oh,
you're
ads.
talking.
Ads don't pay the bills.
Oh,
We're
okay,
taking
cool.
off. I'm going to get
Oh,
dinner.
these guys are
Adam.
leaving. Look at these guys. They're leaving.
Adam, do you know what I did yesterday?
What? You got to say bye.
I took Ed Rosenthal on a tour of 14ers grow.
Oh shit! You took Ed Rosenthal, the Ed Rosenthal, on a tour of 14ers.
The Ed Rosenthal on a tour of 14ers.
You guys approve? You guys all approve?
Yes, 100%.
Yeah, see,
Go
we got
get
a
the
room full
fire.
of dudes who approve on
Yes.
14ers. That's all you need to know.
You guys are gonna
course.
split.
What are you guys gonna go
10
eat? Are
minutes
you gonna
before
go
the show
Fogo to
ends?
Chow and get all meated up? Is that what you're doing?
Rancho and Evergreen.
Ooh, I'm doing that
Where?
tomorrow
Out of the
night.
mountains a little bit.
El Rancho.
Oh,
El
no, what's that?
Rancho.
I've never heard of that.
Uh-oh. Do not get my guys hungry. Because they're not allowed. They don't eat.
starving.
They know I don't eat. Nobody eats.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks, guys. Thanks, Ryan. Boom.
That's what I hate about
Thank
this
you.
job. Y'all don't eat.
Oh, yeah, don't forget your swag. I mean, not swag. You're good. Very good cannabis.
Gotta head over to 14erboulder.com. Place your pre-order.
Nice one.
Pick
Thanks,
up
man.
some flour. Pick up some rosin.
Pick up some
dialed-in
rosin.
guppies. They're a great company. Ed was super impressed. He took photo
I saw the
after
photos.
photo after photo.
I didn't see photo after photo, but I did see one
Oh
photo.
no, he was freak. You think I'm a nervous Nelly with all the? He got up on the top of a step, a step ladder, to get shots of the canopy, and we literally were standing around him like we were kids at camp, protecting somebody on a trampoline from falling off before we had the cage ones.
Gotcha.
Just to make sure he wouldn't fall. What we're thinking about is 14ers' reputation will be where the grow that killed Ed Rosenthal
That would have
when
been
he fell
well.
off.
It would have been at least something memorable. That's for
So
sure.
he was really, really impressed. I'm not just shitting you. Go
Did
to
he
his
take any
page.
pictures of this stuff right here?
Did he take pictures of your can?
He did. He took a picture of. There's a whole crop of DJC coming down tomorrow.
Oh, that's nice.
It was looking amazing. They're doing some really neat things over there. They're experimenting with some LEDs, some different type of cover. So you just listen. If you haven't had 14er lately, I don't know what you're waiting for. Head down there. They're in Boulder on 28th and Mapleton, across from the YMCA. Place your pre-order. Try some DJC. I'm just telling you. I got a phone call from Brent from Apothecary saying that the DJC crosses that they're turning
I was
into
just reading
BHO.
I was just reading one of your things, Dave, and it was so stoned.
What did it say?
Were you talking like fucking Yoda? Is that what you were trying to do there? I was just reading one of your things, and it was all jibble jarble, me high stoned love. Burr.
So.
I was like, what is that, Dave?
On what, in the chat?
Yeah, it said me edible stone high.
Yeah, he's very high.
I mean, what was that? Was that Yoda talk? Was I looking?
That was like 30 minutes ago.
My thing is stuck.
Yeah, it keeps stuck. I didn't know that.
I don't
Okay.
know. It's stuck.
All right, well.
I don't care. I'm just
okay.
wondering. I just saw like.
How about Terp Wipes? Yeah,
Oh,
Terp
what
Wipes.
about him? What about him? Best thing ever.
Everything about him.
Everything. It's the thing
So
you don't.
this is the only one where
It's the
you
thing
don't
you don't.
enter done deal.
It's the thing you don't know you need is what it is. This is the product.
Until you use it.
You don't know you need it till you use it. Then when you use it, you go, holy shit.
How
this
did
thing
I live
works
without
great."
this?
The funny part though is the more I use it, then the more I use of them. Like I'm using them more often than I used to. Like before, I'd be
Right.
like, "Oh, dude, this is gonna last me forever."
Yep.
And now I'm like looking at it half empty and like, "Oh shit, I might run."
So the
out of
website
Terp
is terpwipes.com/done deal.
Yep.
Okay, there's no promo code. You just have to go to this specific website and the discount will be calculated for you. Get a subscription.
If you get a subscription and you can
$1,000.
prove it to me, then I'm going to give you guys an extra. I'm going to give whoever does that and proves it to us. I'm going to give them a spin on the wheel at 420.
Oh,
Show me your thing.
Show me your Terp wipe.
Show me your Terp wipe subscription, and I will let you jump on the wheel of deals this 420. I'm
You
saying
might
it
win
now.
a subscription to Terp wipes.
And I'll do it for the first 3 people that do it. First 3 people. Can't do it for everybody, but first 3.
Get on there right now. You got to do it by the end of the show.
So go
Buy your
there,
subscription.
order it. You'll be
You got
stoked.
10 minutes.
You'll be stoked. You'll be like, cool. I don't know why. And then all of a sudden you're getting a wheel of deals. You just killed it. You crushed it. You just got everything possible that anybody could ever want. Now, which wheel of deals? Because I have a few. You could go on to the wheel of terrible deals.
No, you could go on to the Colorado deal of edibles if you're a local.
Oh,
and
if
you
you're
live
local,
in Colorado.
you double down.
Yeah.
All right. But yeah.
But I gotta say, give a big thanks to the men and women at Illuminar. They have given away a lamp once a month, every single final Friday of the month since I've been sitting here. And photos all over Instagram right now showing what you can do with their illumination. So you go to illuminar.com or go to @illuminar on Instagram, enter Dunn deal at checkout, and I don't know what the discount is, but it's better than not putting it in there.
Good for Q cups. Good to know.
Yeah.
They work for everything.
That's right.
What I like them for, I like to, when you're cleaning out your Focus V, or you have your own slave who does it for you. Which luckily, I have. I'm not a slave.
Yeah,
he's not a slave.
I wasn't going to bring that up.
Were you
but
impressed?
Since you
Were you impressed?
I walked in and I saw on camera that Adam had a dab filler before the show who goes by the name of Vinnie.
Dab Tech.
Dab Tech.
Yeah, he was my dab tech.
Made sure his Focus V was charged, that there was a dab loaded up in it, that the carb cap was ready.
It was clean. No, it was mostly that it was cleaned and ready to roll, and that's it. It's all nice. Yeah,
Shout out to Team Warped and Team Vinnie. Thank you, Uncle Andy, for getting everything ready for us, and Brian out at Area 420, and Michael.
Matt,
we're looking forward to this.
Come on
and
now.
Matt.
Don't forget Matt.
Let's make sure you guys, nobody yell at us. We the internet connection out there, we're hoping can handle the show.
We're taking the whole internet of the town. We're gonna use the entire town's internet.
We're requiring the entire town of
We have been
Moffat to
told
turn
that
their
there's
phones
fiber
off.
optics out there. There's not even fiber optics out there.
No, we don't have fiber optic access. There is fiber optic there, but we would have had to order it like 6 months ago.
I woke up with anxiety the other day about it.
Did you?
So, yeah.
No, guys.
Yeah,
Don't
so
worry.
I spent the day on the phone with Michael, and we think we
can
have
actually
it.
fix stuff because there's actually because they were going to get a lower speed of internet.
Well,
And
good.
No, and now it's good. Okay, Illuminar, thank you. If you want to
I
get
sound
an
like
Illuminar,
that was almost like the kid show.
Oh, what?
Because the kid
And
would always get
last
technical.
but not least, Seeds here now.
Oh, what? They have a wheel of deals too?
They have a wheel of deals too. Shop for discount.
I
Spin
went
for discount.
10% off an order.
That's a done deal up there.
Yeah.
They've got their own wheel of deals. See? Indian Land Race will be on the show. I've confirmed for 420. Indian Land Race Exchange.
Nice.
Isram. That was on the show earlier, which is dope. So, and he's
Can we talk about anybody coming on the show?
We
next
can.
Week?
We got
you know,
time.
like
We
any
got-
big name people that
we got a
possibly
few.
who
We
we
got a
all
few.
wish.
We got a few.
So we don't know when it's going to happen because we're dealing with a mobile internet connection for him. But for the third time, the return of everybody's hero, the original Dave's not here. Thomas Chong will be coming back on
Thomas.
the Adam Dunn show.
Thomas Chong.
Tommy,
Oh, that's
Tommy,
another guy.
Tommy,
That's
Tommy,
another
Chong,
guy.
Chong, Chong. Yes,
Thomas,
that's his younger brother.
Thomas Chong.
Ed Rosenthal will be on the show. Danny Danko, Kyle Cushman, Brent from Apothecary, Tommy from Fish Shit, James Bean from Seeds Here Now, an in-studio appearance. Drum roll, Mark. Drum roll.
Oh, hold on, man.
For
God damn it. All right.
the
Here we
bro.
go.
Keith will be in the studio with us, all the way from Sour Diesel, New York. He will
Tight.
be in.
That's awesome, dude.
We'll see Caleb Rare Phenome will be around.
Oh, nice, dude. That's really cool, too.
Yep.
Of course. I would hope
Yeah.
if he didn't show up, I'd be disappointed.
I'd be really sad. I haven't seen him in a long time. I
I
haven't
know.
even seen him in the
We
chat
didn't
in a
see him
while.
until we were out at the thing that one. Oh no! Did you come with me that time? No.
I didn't go. I don't go anywhere.
No, you didn't come with me.
I don't do any of the fun
I had
stuff.
to meet him. I had to meet him in a parking.
York
I had to
on
meet
the
him in a parking.
first.
I had to meet him in a parking lot. So
Ah,
that was the last time
That's
we met. It
classic
was like,
shit.
yeah, we were like, meet you in the parking lot at the Petco. It's like, all right, dun dun dun, in the parking lot. That was back when the shit was going weird.
yeah, man.
That's when no one knew what was
Yeah.
going on. What's going on? What's going on?
What's going on, dude?
What's going on?
What's going on?
Pandemic,
What's
man.
going on?
It's only going to be 2 weeks, though. We'll be fine. 13's going down to 0.
Oh,
Exactly.
No, this is fun. I'm really looking forward to it. I'm really
Is that all
looking
you got on your
forward to
list?
it.
I got a bigger list. I got a
He has a
huge-
big list.
I got a
Go ahead. Keep going.
huge list.
Yeah,
Huge.
keep reading it.
Oh man, we got Steve D'Angelo coming on board. We got Andrew D'Angelo coming on board. We got Tommy Fish.
Dan
that's gonna
Harrer.
be, what? Dan Harrer is going to be here, right? Fucking Chris Conrad will be here. We got Chris Trump's going to be on the show.
Wait, is he a Trump?
No, Chris Trump.
Okay.
Come on, Dan.
Just checking.
Go look into it. Jesus Christ. I'm waiting for confirmation from the nose, but I know Yair is going to be on the show. We're going to have Yair coming in.
Sweet, Gavita.
Yes. Marlon Asher, James Loud. We got same. Remember, Marlon hung out with us last time the whole time, pretty much. I think he's got other gigs going on, so it probably won't be as long, but we'll definitely have him on for a little bit. Miles will be hanging out with us there live in the studio. We got a good posse of people coming through. Carrie Accardi, who was on the show a couple weeks ago with the New York thing, she'll be there in the flesh, live with her new Connected Network.
I'm hoping we can get Sid Gupta on for the New York City
Sid
420.
will definitely be on. I just have to confirm it 100%, but I'm pretty sure he will because, Fab Five Freddy's going to start the show off. What are we talking about?
And Jesse Horton, too?
Can you believe it?
Yep.
Can you believe it? That's just
how are we getting all these fantastic guests? Mark, thank you so much, man.
Yeah, you're welcome. I do a lot of work on the show when I'm not here.
Oh man, you booked amazing guests.
Oh, thanks.
Fucking
You're
awesome.
And we're gonna have Andre Grossman down there taking photos. We're like
Andre the Giant.
Andre Grossman, come on now. High times, Andre. Well,
can we try to get
formerly
Wolf back on somehow, man? Just make nice with him.
Of course we can.
We hate us.
Yeah, you gotta let him talk, dog. Come on.
Yeah. Come on, let him talk. Let him talk, dog. Come on, dog. Come on, man.
Come on, dog.
Come
Let
on,
the wolf
man.
talk.
Wolf dog.
Let the wolf talk.
Well, we got
Wolf
20.
dog.
Okay, here's the thing: is last time we had 12 hours, right? And we definitely did not fit everybody into our 12 hours because there was a few major players didn't get in there. Oh, have we got any confirmation from any of those? I know we got one that we're not having.
You're supposed to reach out to Frenchie.
I am now. Okay.
Oh, and Rosendogs.
Yes.
Rosendogs?
He bought a webcam just for this.
Oh, Rosendogs. All right, cool.
Yeah. And his OnlyFans.
Sweet.
And his OnlyFans?
Yeah, he bought a webcam for this and his OnlyFans.
Oh, okay, I thought he's going to bring his OnlyFans
Right.
onto the show. I was like, that's cool.
Have you seen his OnlyFans feed? It's just, top notch,
Is
man.
it?
It's just feet.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, it's feet?
Yeah.
No, it's just jars of rosin.
Oh.
Oh, I thought it was feet. I saw feet.
Jars of rosin.
He's not on the joke. It's all right. It's okay.
I saw the feet. I saw the feets.
Who are you kidding, Rosin Dogs? You're E-list at best, man. Don't even try to
E-list.
sneak in. I'm
Yeah.
sitting on the D-list. Okay?
I'm not even on the list.
You're a D-list
I have to put
for
my
sure.
I have to put my name in the thing myself because I'm here.
All right.
So who
I
else
guess
is-
I will see you.
What's that?
Anybody who
what?
wants to come on. What?
What? What do you see?
I was asking if I'm gonna see you for
Who?
the first time in like 8
Oh yeah.
You.
like 8 months.
Did you get your hair cut?
I did get my hair cut.
All right, you're hiding it now. You don't want us to see this.
It's cold, man. What the fuck?
Oh, you're all now. You're like
Yeah, it's cold.
boy band shit. or
Yeah,
what?
I got boy band shit.
Is that what your girl's like? Oh, yeah, you
Suburban
got a boy
house.
band now.
No,
Whoa,
she actually-
look at that.
I think she prefers it long, actually.
wow.
It seems that way.
Republican Party, Mark.
Yeah. Nice.
Wow.
You need to quiff it up a little bit. You need to quiff it up if you want to go Republican Party. They need more. They need more of the swirls, swirlage,
Yeah.
swirlage. So yes, we've got a very interesting show coming up on Tuesday. I'm very excited. And not only that, we're going to be doing. So what I think we'll probably end up doing for the Friday is hopefully because we're going to have. We definitely got Matt running around videoing everything, right? So now Matt is going to have 7 cameras mounted on him at one time because he doesn't even know it yet. But so we have a lot of footage.
We just have him connect to Zoom from a phone, and that's how we get that.
There you go.
That's how we get the feed from him.
Okay.
There we go.
Well, there you go. But we're
Because
also going to have.
otherwise I don't know how to do it.
Oh no, but I'm talking the live show, yes, but we're talking about Thursday. We're going to be doing stuff on Thursday, hanging out. I think there we need to film some stuff because we're not going to be doing live from there.
Y'all are filming. I'm done.
Oh, I know. But I think we're just going to put up. I'm not asking you to do anything, dude, because I
Okay.
know
All
shitty Jamie will just come out like a fucking.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna sit there for
force.
24 hours though, the whole time. The
whole
whole
time.
time.
Yeah,
The whole time.
Yeah, we're going to do it. It's going to be.
That's right.
Did you see that we got like people are like now people are holding our feet to the fire. They're like, if you're going to be on for 24 hours,
Oh, yeah.
then I want to see you there the entire time. No bath. No, he's like we're allowed to go,
Come on.
we're allowed to go pee. I heard I heard the
What?
rules are we're allowed to pee.
Allowed to pee.
Yeah, I know. I didn't.
That's
I
not
didn't-
even.
Are we
that's
allowed to eat
I
anything?
didn't even know
That's
there
a
was
terrible
rules.
concession, man.
I
You
didn't
got to
even
make
know-
us pee in bottles or something. You know what I mean?
I would think that would be more appropriate.
Yeah. Right.
And then
think
just, and
with
every
all of
time you
us
do
there,
it,
we're gonna-
stack them up.
Yeah, stack
And then we
it.
stack them up on the front of the screen, so you
We'll
have to
have
look
a
at them.
pee cam.
And then you'll see how healthy we are. Because you'll be
Right.
like, Dave, man, look at your pee.
like
It's so dark.
very- Yeah, dark.
Yeah, you need to
No,
go. You
it's
need to
very
drink
dark.
more water.
Yeah,
Be like, drink
drink.
more water.
Dehydrated.
But yeah, apparently there's rules. No, but we're gonna be. We're doing this on our own ground.
This is like a dance-a-thon from the 30s where
Yeah.
Adam has to do the whole show standing up.
And I have to keep my hand on the table. If I take my hand off the table,
You lose.
I lose for the entire 24 hours. So I just have to keep my hand here and do dabs with one hand. No, I think it'll be. I think it's going to be fun. I think we're going to have I'm
We'll have a
looking.
one-handed dabbing competition.
There may be a break. I don't know, but I will try to stay there with you the entire time. One of us will.
We'll figure it out.
We'll do watches. We'll do watches at a certain point where it'll be like, it's the MTI show for the next hour. MTI, get going. Start telling. Oh, you know
That's
what?
horrible.
I do need to make. I do need.
I don't want
DJ
that
for my
me.
hour.
I do need to address something.
Oh yeah, why are you stealing our artwork style?
I got to address.
Adam?
I got to address that.
You know, Sofabab has the patent on photoshopped heads on other people's
I thought it was.
bodies.
I thought it was Monty Python, but
I thought he was serious at first. I'm like, what the fuck? And I went
No.
to his site and I'm like, he says he's from Sofabab. I'm like, okay, let's just Photoshop your face on a penis. Then you can call it
That's- but you guys did.
Photoshopped.
You guys did that already, didn't you?
I'm sure we've done.
You must have done the
We've
penis.
done all kinds of things. Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna say I am always impressed with the art, but have you not noticed? Have you not noticed that we have similar styles?
Oh,
out of the gate.
out of the gate. I
Without
know.
even there was no. I mean, I just say that we both
That's what I'm saying when things get going
appreciate.
here.
We both appreciate a good head chop.
Oh yeah.
Addition. And that's never been out of my wheelhouse. That's
Sure,
always
no,
been.
no.
That's literally
the house party one was great.
That's literally been. Yeah, it's literally been my thing forever. So
Yeah.
we're just on the same tip. So
We're just on the same tip.
we'll just have to shake
Same
hands.
tip.
We're on
Yeah.
the same tip. But I'd have to say, the minute I didn't even get it. I saw it. I was like, what do you mean? I stole artwork? And I was genuinely confused. Like, what did I steal? I don't even get it.
That's
and
so
then
funny.
I was like, oh, I stole the style. I thought I stole artwork, like
Right.
actual artwork. I was like, but did you guys do the football one already?
No, we haven't done that one.
Oh, okay. See, so
No.
now you can never do that.
No.
Never.
A shout
If I
out to
ever
the
see
108
Sofabab,
people.
if I ever see Sofabab doing guys that are commentating, if that ever happens, it's pretty much I did that.
I'm gonna show you the picture that he made after you stole
Oh.
his artwork style.
Oh yeah, that was great. And I didn't see it until you commented on it, and then I went and looked at it, and I was like, "That's fucking classic."
Stealing our stuff.
Stealing Sofabab
Stealing our
shit.
That's good stuff.
And then doesn't it say "fuck Adam Dunn show" somewhere in there?
Something.
Hashtag.
Yeah.
Hashtag.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
See.
hashtag
Oh yeah.
show.
There it is. Fuck Adam Dunn show. That could.
So now we got beef, dude.
We got beef.
Sofabab,
Well,
Adam Dunn show.
I was waiting for that anyway.
Oh, nice.
But then the funny part was the best accusing part was that I was accused of using the same cutout of
Oh,
your head.
yeah, that's right.
And I was like, well, what other head could I cut out of his head? I don't even know. Like,
Right.
is that the only one he uses?
No.
of you?
I sent him a bunch. So he
I mean, all I did was
he
just-
rotates it every once in a while.
I
but
just scouted
I
your-
think that's the one he used recently, even. So,
It's the
yeah.
best one.
Yeah.
You look the healthiest. I went for the healthy. I went for the healthy factor on that one because you were
Oh,
supposed to be.
nice.
Well, I had to go for the right thing because we were doing the
It
commentating.
looked like we had makeup on.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That was what I was going for. I was going for the makeup. Dave looks fucking amazing. Dave was like, I almost had them switched around at first.
Yeah.
But then you were sitting in front of the computer, so I thought that made more sense. So
That
you-
makes sense.
Yeah,
Yes.
it was.
That's
Sorry,
that's
guys.
deep, man. That's
Yeah,
deep.
I take my shit real deep.
Deep
My
cuts.
I don't just cut heads off.
Right.
I think of the emotions of the
I
the
like how he-
characters. I think of the emotions of.
He tagged 2 of the wrong Adam Dunns.
Oh.
It was hilarious.
Yeah, there you go. So
Good stuff.
I like the hand clap. I like the hand clap with you. Like let's get this party started. Let's go.
Yes.
Let's
This
go.
is great. This is a great time.
Dave looks like he just won a poker tournament, so he's all happy. And I look like I'm back on the job. Depressed again. I
go.
can't believe I'm stuck between these 2 fuckheads. This is what it
Yeah,
looks
right.
like.
Two
That's the look I was
fuckheads.
going. Now you know what I was really sad about though
Douglas.
is that
What's
I did
that?
not change. Go back real quick.
Oh.
Is that for some reason, like I said earlier in the show, I did the phone number expecting that to just cause like a tidal wave of calls coming in.
Right.
Right, that was my original plan.
And people still ask me how to get
Really, you
what's the phone
expected
number.
And I said, because normally the problem is we never put the number, right? And then
Yeah.
if we did do the number, we would put TADS at the end, which is 8237, right?
Yeah.
And this time I was like, you know what? I'm not going to do TADS. I'm going to put 8237. There's no excuse. Everybody should be able to call this number, no problem. And then right after, when I posted it and I had a bunch of comments, I redid it with TADS and I was like, oh, it looks so much better now. Like
Yeah.
now it looks tighter. It's like I should have done it and I was going to flip it. But then I thought I'm going to confuse everybody and they're going to be sad because their comments are gone. So
you could have put the numbers real small under.
and I
tabs
was
or something.
exactly.
Yeah,
I know.
yeah,
I was just rushing through. I was doing my classic. I was doing the ad at midnight on Thursday. So there you go. That's what happens when you do your ads at midnight on Thursday for your show on Friday. Because that's how it roll around here. But we never know.
Right.
And to be quite honest, if you noticed, I put that we were going to have James Beanman on the scene, and then he never called
Didn't even
in.
show.
Well, he was waiting in the wings, and then we had a lot of guests all of a sudden. I thought we had just Drew, and I was like, oh, cool, we'll have Drew in here. And then Drew said, I'm bringing a couple people, and then it was awesome because we brought proper talent, so we could just sit here and talk exactly what people wanted to hear, just about weed, just about growing, just about stuff. Nothing too crazy.
That was it. That was great.
It was good. It was good. Oh, I liked it. And plus, we got to calm down. We can't go crazy and have really intense shows before our most intense.
Yeah.
Kind of intense. I don't know.
It's nice just hanging with it.
Just chilling out, bro.
Hey, shout out to the 160 something people that tuned in live while we were doing it, and the 100 that are on right now. We appreciate you very much.
Yes, sir. And
Hell yeah.
we will be going live. We will be going all day, all night, so you guys can check in. We're gonna get a timer on the screen. I think we're trying. Oh, don't get all shitty on me, Jamie. Come on, Jesus. Shitty Jamie is gonna put a timer on the screen so that you guys can leave and go do whatever you want. And when you come back, you can make sure that we're still on the air. We have, and how many pee bottles we have. That's pretty much what you're gonna want. You're gonna be like, all right, how many pee bottles are they up to now? Oh, they've got 12 pee bottles. Yeah. And then it's going to get scary because there's going to be so many bottles on the table, and we're going to be tired, and we're going to occasionally possibly drink our own pee. That's what
Wait, what?
That's what's going to happen.
They're talking to me in the booth. Mike, your wings are ready. Window 2,
the
please.
Booth. He doesn't even know.
He doesn't even know.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
I thought you were what are you, Nostradamus over there?
Nostradamus.
Are you Nostradamus or what?
Oh man.
Speaking of the future, you're talking of things you don't even know.
I predict a fun show.
Me too.
For 20. Actually, if we do
How
it
many
for
hours?
what we said,
Yes.
26 hours.
No, well, yeah. If we come back to 420 of our own 420, yes. Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
26, 24, what the fuck's the difference? At that point, it doesn't even matter. It's not like I'm going to go to
it
bed.
matters.
It's
We're
not like I'm
doing
going to
24.
bed at 420 on the
Welcome, caller. You're live on the air. Adam Dunn Show.
Who we got?
Yo, what's going on, man?
Just
This is,
chilling, man.
Corey from
Just
Florida.
chilling, man.
Hell yeah.
Hey, Corey, what's going on?
Not much, man. Just watching y'all show.
Sweet.
But, I was wondering, what do you think is a good way to get into the industry in Florida, man? Like, I've been doing it underground since about 2003, and just, don't want to put my
Go
neck
work
out
for
there, you know
True
what I mean?
Leaf. Take any job with True Leaf. They're going to be huge. They're huge already, and they're going to continue to be huge.
I mean, the industry, the thing about it there is, if you're going to come in, like, again, there's a good example. Truly huge, right? How many locations? They have like 30 or 40 or something.
They open up a dispensary every Friday.
They're huge here.
Huge, right? So, I mean, it's kind of hard to come in with a unique sort of attack against, to try to go against stuff like that. Unless you want to just be specific. The best thing to do in the industry is to not try to do too much, is what I think, is just like get really good at one consistent thing, whether it be like whatever your specialty is. Like if you're really good at cloning, for instance, you get into a nursery situation, or you get into like something where you're supplying enough, because then you get a contract with True Leaf, and then you make then you don't have to do anything else because they got 40 fucking shops. But it's harder and harder to get into the industry. That's kind of one of the reasons why we're doing what we're doing out at Area 420, because here in Colorado, to get into the entry level, you need millions of dollars, and it's definitely not hundreds of thousands. You need millions. And out there, you can get away with less than $500,000 and really put out your own little sub brand, let's say, of your own thing.
Live the dream.
It just sucks here because it's so like vertically integrated that it like really pushes out all like any like little men typing, like, you know what I mean?
I mean,
welcome to legal cannabis.
The classic would be to figure out maybe something that all those people need, but it's not cannabis exactly itself. You know what I mean? That's the picks and axes kind of deal where you're like, oh,
ancillary businesses. Yeah.
Hey, ancillary. There you go. That's the word I was looking
one.
for. But yeah, in general, that's always a good way to kind of stay in the industry without it. Plus, you know, at the end of the day,
Packaging, man.
At the end of the day, it's like compliance and regulations will be the death of most people when it comes to this thing. And if you've actually been doing your own thing for 15 years and more, 17 years, then you've got, I'm sure you've got your own little protocol that you like to do. And I doubt you could do any of it in your facilities because you're not allowed to smoke and you're not allowed to do this, and you're not allowed to do that. You're not allowed, so at the end of the day, you may not be missing out on much except that kind of bullshit, which gets old fast. And so I think if you want to do stuff, it's kind of cool to figure out like MTI was saying, like packaging or something along those lines. Like, oh shit, I'll start supplying that to these guys, and then bang.
What's your first name, man? Corey. Send an email to dundeal@adamdunshow.com with a resume, your experience, what you wanted to do, and I'll put it in the hands of a recruiter for the cannabis industry for you.
All right, cool, man. I appreciate that, Dave.
Yeah,
you got it.
Sounds good. And also in that separately, just put a little thing and tell me on the other side, outside of the normal resume, like, hey, well, this is what I really do. so then I'll be like, oh, okay, actually, I got a way better idea for you.
Resume.
Yeah, we got, you have one which is for corporate, and then you got one that's for the industry, for the real people that might be able to steer you in the right direction.
All right, I appreciate it, y'all.
Hey, thanks, bro.
Right on, man.
Corey.
Not a problem.
All right, man. Y'all have a good one.
You too.
Yo, we got to do
shout out to Ray Navis Recruiting.
You like that? Yeah, we were supposed to get more on that anyway, so that'll be good. We'll add it to our thousands and thousands of.
All right, so I'm refreshing.
Refresh.
I'm refreshing. We're doing top chatter.
Top chatter. We need a top chatter theme song. Why don't you make that when you get home when you're not busy?
Oh yeah, sure.
Oh, because right. No, you need to do it while you're doing Sofa Bab.
There you
go. Practice it in the background, and they'll go like, "Hey, what are you doing there, Mark?" You be like, "Oh, nothing. I'm just making a new theme song for over the Adam Dunn show," and they'll be like, "The fuck you are!"
Yeah,
dude.
Speaking of Sofa Bab, I turned the show on the other day.
Oh, don't even start.
And they fucking had you like
microscopic,
drop shadowed almost.
Oh, they don't even.
You were like a little thing on the screen. They had these two other people who had full presence on the screen, and then
the main
little
host.
fucking Mark.
Yeah.
I'm like, what the fuck is that?
I was
turned
in
it
the
right off.
Zoom jerks.
Total Zoom
square.
jerk zone. Yeah, it was like squirrel.
Yeah, no, I turned it off. I'm
Squirrel
like, fuck.
Club in the corner.
I noticed there were two people watching, and when I dropped off, I think there was only one left.
That was a high for us, okay? And then you hitting 3 right there, that really sent us over the edge.
I'll log on from 2 computers next time.
Thanks, buddy. All right.
Got it.
I'm going to do one more refresh since you guys keep jabbing around.
Oh, you guys could have crushed it right there.
All right.
I think.
Yeah. All right. So we're refreshing, and it's coming.
Drum rolls.
With 98 chats.
Whoa.
We have Meme Addicts in 3rd place.
Meme Addicts.
Dun, 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 dun.
3rd place, Meme Addicts.
For 2nd place, we have 240 chats. It's the classic Rosin Dogs.
Wow, 240. That's a big jump.
That's pretty
Wow,
good.
he moved up.
From 98 to 240?
Wait for this jump. This is pretty good right here.
Uh-oh.
And in first
Trying to
place,
get in.
with a grand total of 307 chats, M1K3 Grow.
M1K3 Grow. 300 and how many?
307.
Is that M1K3? I thought he's trying to, make Mike.
Yeah, it is micro. It's micro.
Yeah, whatever, dude.
We're trying to shh. We can't
Yeah.
let
Oh, I
everyone
said a
know.
name. Oh, big time. Whoa, no, yeah, no.
Oh, now we know he's Mike. Oh, shit.
Oh, no one knew. Everyone was just like, well, I thought his name really
No
was
one knew.
M1K3.
No one knew.
Until Dave ruined it.
You will get a spin on the wheel next Tuesday.
It was at this moment that he knew. He fucked up.
He fucked up.
Yeah.
Oh, I knew long before that. Just waiting for it to happen. I was Dave Radamus.
For a moment, for about an hour, and then it all fizzled away. Your
all gone.
powers have been diminished incredibly.
Yeah.
Oh, speaking of which, next week, Tuesday, Dave's powers
Join
will be
us.
diminished on an hourly basis.
Oh yeah, dude.
As we do, yeah, we're gonna have lots of. How many cameras are gonna have on just Dave? Are we having like extra?
None. No cameras.
What?
No camera. Only from this side.
Well, I mean, I don't know.
I think we need a couple extras.
We need to talk about this. Because,
Sleep cam. What for more? How many more we can bring? What we can handle?
Yeah, what we can handle.
Yeah.
Well, we can take less here. We don't need all these, right? So.
Yeah, you should take everything.
No. We have enough but like I don't have
Power.
enough inputs
I know. How
into
many-
the laptop.
Oh, geez, just
For more
drill
cameras.
some holes.
That's what I'm
into it.
saying. We'll have people on Zoom on their phones.
Can we
I
get
think that's gonna
hubs?
be
Can we
the-
get a new hub? Something else? Can it help? Can we do switch
No.
box switchers?
Yeah, that's what we should do. We should test new equipment
Let me
just
do it.
before the show.
Let me do it.
Dongle boy.
Let me do it. Let me be in charge of all the
I think the
dongles.
best way to do it is have people on their phones using Zoom, and that's how we'll have the mobile camera stuff.
We're going to crash
That's
the
how
entire
we're gonna do
network
it.
of Moffat.
Oh shit, that's right. I
What?
forgot about that.
What about it?
Yeah.
We'll all be stressing out the internet.
Yeah.
Probably there. But it's all right.
Well, if we have a hard line, we're not.
We don't have a dude.
We don't
let's
have a hard
test
line?
everything Monday.
We don't
do
have a hard
not.
line?
We have shit. We have satellite. It's going to be like doing the show from your farm.
No.
You can't make a phone call from your farm.
No. No.
Yeah.
No. Don't say
Oh,
that.
okay. I hope.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
Can't we spend some
only
big
be
money?
better.
Come on, military shit. Can't we get some military?
No, we checked it. It was
We did.
16 upload. It was that appeared to be fine. That's what I get at my house right here.
Yeah.
Okay.
If it's as long as it's somewhere around there, we're good.
Can we get a secondary line put in there to have for?
No.
Why not?
It gets put in Monday morning at 9 o'clock. Okay. we don't even have a chance to test it. Michael had to go to someone else's, another licensee on the property that allegedly has the same internet and tested it and showed me the connection speed, and it was 16. But I got their Cielo internet provider on the phone, and it turns out that his person had signed us up for AOL speeds.
Like 25
So had
megabytes.
Mark
per
had
second.
not had that premonition, we'd have gotten there literally for a dial-up connection.
Hey, 24-hour dial. It takes 24 hours to do the show. That's what we would have changed the whole concept. It would have been like, no, this is the 24-hour it takes show, not quite the 24-hour show.
Well, Elk is going to get to see what color I really am under real light and a real camera. On
We're gonna
Tuesday.
be fine.
I'm not scared at all.
We're going to be
not scared.
fine.
All
Of
right,
course
cool.
we are.
No,
And then I just have to, if it doesn't work, we have 24 hours just to chill out.
We just drive back to Boulder.
Yeah.
And then everyone gets all sad and
We'll
all,
record it.
There'll be thousands of
And
people
then everyone
crying.
will watch it after the fact.
And then everybody, what
Yeah,
you can
that'll
do,
happen.
you know, then everybody would have to send us.
Let's watch 24 hours of 420 on 423.
Yeah, it'll take like 2 days to upload. Yeah, for sure.
Oh, big time. It would take so long to upload a 24-hour show. You couldn't do it in less than 24 hours, could
You
you?
have to think about it.
Or would it, how fast does it go?
What do you
Unless-
mean?
No, it would take like what?
56K.
6 hours, 8 hours to load it? A third of the time?
Audio not that bad.
modem.
Video is going to be the kicker.
All right.
Oh
guys.
wait, but we're not going to have to upload the video because it's live streamed. So
Everybody, cross your fingers. Let's hope that this all works out great. It will.
oh good, there's a surplus of boof.
What?
there.
It's a boof fest?
There will be a surplus of boof there, so
A
we're good to
surplus
go.
of boof.
We're
Oh,
good to go, boys.
As long as we got excess boof, we're good.
I invited Rosendogs out live. He chose to zoom on a camera.
He bought a new webcam for this, Dave. I mean,
Wow.
come on, dude.
He's
what
going.
are you doing?
He's going on. He's going off on this one.
Wow.
I'm looking forward to it.
All right.
All right, guys. Shout outs. Quick shout outs, everybody. Shout-
check out my DJ Mix radio show on
Diamonds and Sauce?
No. Diamonds and
Oh.
Sauce is my music that
Okay.
I create, but I do Suburban House Radio every Wednesday. It's house music.
What?
What else?
House music.
Oh,
Yeah.
cool. That's
I
good.
DJ, have a green screen,
Got it.
all this thing.
Excellent.
You know?
You do other stuff. You do extras bits that you don't do for. Do you a lot of soundboard stuff that you don't do? Here?
No, I definitely don't do any soundboard shit.
Are you holding out on me? Like you go, and on my show, I got all the cool soundboard shit.
Yeah, my show
Timed
definitely looks way better
perfectly.
because it's not all
Definitely.
smoked out in my room.
Definitely
I can
looks
get a
way-
good picture.
Oh,
I'm just kidding.
What a
Just
lame. Do you smoke on the show?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool. Well, that's a great show.
Yeah, it's a great show.
It's a great show. As
I
long
talk
as you-
about how Adam Dunn ruins my life.
Oh.
That's always good too.
Is there a lot of emotions on it? Is it an emotional?
It's very emotional.
Driven
Oh,
show.
yes.
It's very emotional.
It's depressing house music.
Oh, it's that kind of show. It's a breakup show. You do the breakup
Like
show.
all wallpaper.
It's
houses.
funky Chicago Jack and house
Yeah,
music.
if you are in a breakup, call and check out my show, and I will get you all funked out.
Get you all teary.
Teary-eyed and funked out. Shout out to all the people pilgriming. How would you say it?
Pilgrimaging.
Making
the pilgrimage.
Was that purple? Purple.
Making
Plurple?
the pilgrimage.
Yeah. I'm just like the cop now. I can't say purple. Well, pilgrimage is like a lot worse than fucking purple.
Hey, shout out to
Maybe it's peas.
Dogecoin at 36 cents right now.
Oh man, I'm a thousandaire.
Fire on the Dogecoin. I love
Fire
it.
on the Dogecoin.
Fire on the Dogecoin.
Adam Dunn Show will be accepting payment in crypto for any sponsors who would like to become a sponsor. Reach out, send us an email at dundeal@adamdunnshow.com.
Ooh, that was good.
Adam Hennessy will be jumping for that.
Yeah.
Actually, I want to do a crypto show with him maybe soon. So if he's listening,
Yeah, I've been talking to him a lot.
I
He's
know.
very knowledgeable.
I know, and we talked about doing it, and now that things are sort of firing up, we might want to have to get him on before it's too expensive.
Oh, see, look, just me mentioning that Doge dropped by a penny. Excellent.
Thanks, Dave. Thanks, Dave. Yeah, so shout out to everybody who's making their way here for 420. Shout out to everybody out there who's trying to throw down some kind of a party. If you are, join our party. Maybe if our party works or not. If it doesn't work, then don't join our party because it won't be working.
Yeah, that'll be
if you see a
bad.
big blank screen that
Oh.
says "Sorry, see you next 420," then hey, what can we do?
All right.
Then just blame Moffat. It'll be like blame Canada, but
I
it'll
hope
be
not.
blame
I really hope not. We're gonna be good.
Moffat Internet.
I
We're
think
gonna
we're
be
putting out some
fine.
negativity that doesn't need to be out there, boys.
We're gonna be fine.
We're gonna be fine. We're gonna boof it all day.
Well, yeah. If
I know the truth on the boof.
Truth on the boof.
Boof.
Boof Truth crew. Oh, there you go. That's a whole new crew name. I like that.
The
Boof,
what?
Boof. Boof. Boof Truth.
Boof Truth.
Crew.
Boof Truth crew. Rosendog's
Rosendog's Boof Troop.
That's our leader. Yes, leader of the Boof crew.
Our leader of the Boof Troop. Rosin.
Shout out to my beautiful wife Cece and little Nick. They're getting ready for their adventures down there. It's so funny because we have teas and stuff, and we have Garden of Gaia who's going to be supplying all the tea.
Nice.
And but it was great because Cece was all excited because she's like, we're going to get all the kids and they're going to help us make all the tea bags. And I'm like, oh, you mean like child labor, like child slave labor? She's like, no, they're actually going to be they are the directors of the company. So
Sweet. Yeah, that circumvents any child labor laws. Just make them.
No.
Oh, cool, man.
that is 100%. They're the owners. We work for them. But
In
we're gonna
tow.
but they're gonna be wearing lab coats and doing all their work and stuff and formulating stuff for us. It's pretty
Boof
exciting.
Troop on SoundCloud.
Check it.
I want a liter of cola.
Boof crew. Yeah, I like that. Boof crew.
I don't want a large
Troop.
farva. I want a liter of cola.
There you go. Who?
Don't you? Super Troopers.
No, okay, I didn't see this.
Farva.
All
right.
My thing gets left behind here. I get stuck.
That's all right.
I get stuck. And shout out to Ace down at the farm. Lots of snow to fucking move today. Man, that snow was fucking heavy, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
Jesus, knocking down shit at our place. Branches falling off. When I get home, it'll all be gone. It's like it's crazy how
All be
quickly,
gone.
how quick that shit goes. See you guys next week. And anything for you?
I'm good.
Peace.
Any other shout outs?
We'll see you guys for 420.
Yeah.
Oh, what? You're
420,
going to do
baby.
it?
It died.
Oh, it died?
Yeah, I can't help it. If it dies, it's got to
If it dies, it just
You're
can't.
not allowed to show that on camera yet. I'm kidding.
I am.
Oh, okay,
It's okay.
great.
It's all right. It's okay. We got to load a dab with everybody. Come on.
Yeah, I guess so. All right, everybody, we're doing a dab.
Everybody.
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 I'm doing some honey banana ambrosia, which is what I'm going to be rocking at Colorado area.
Play us
420.
out with your dabs.
No. Just kidding. Hell yeah, baby.
Peace to you.
Alrighty. So what? Are we leaving now?
Yeah, we're gonna say shout out to everybody. Like little thing, we're gonna do the Pavlov's dog soundtrack on the way out,
Alrighty.
and we all know where we are.
Let's do this. We'll see you guys for 420. 24 hours of shitty Jamie.
Thank you, Mark,
Getting
for
real
everything.
shitty.
Getting real shitty. Peace out.
Real shitty.
Practically every one of the top 40 records being played on every radio station in the United States is a communication to the children to take a trip, to cop out, to groove. The psychedelic jackets on the record albums have their own hidden.
This is a special question. We don't want you to smoke genetically modified ganja. We want you to smoke the real thing. We want you to smoke the natural herb. Some call it marijuana, some call it sensimedia, some call it lamb's bread, and some people call it ganja.